It's time to remember that.
Do you remember?
With Kyle Sandell.
Presented by Matt Larson, Farm Bureau agent located downtown Midland. MLB All-Star voting got underway yesterday, and the Tigers are in a spot where they're going to have several All-Stars this season. There's some obvious ones. Tarek Skubal will for sure be an All-Star once again. Riley Green will likely make back-to-back All-Star appearances. But then there's a few other guys that you would think might have a chance to be starters or get voted in as reserves. Names like Will Vest come to mind. Gleyber Torres has a pretty good shot at second base. But the guy that I'm vouching for to be the starter at his position in the American League in the All-Star game is none other than Spencer Torkelson. Now you look at the initial numbers and you think, no way Spencer Torkelson makes it over the Vlad Guerreros or Paul Goldschmidts in the American League. Just a .230 batting average right now for Torque. But he leads all the American League first basemen in home runs with 14, and he's hit at the heart of an order of a Tigers team that has been the best in Major League Baseball this season. Third best OPS in the American League right now, better than Vlad Guerrero. And being the prime right-handed bat on the best team in Major League Baseball, leading that team in homers with 14, while bouncing back from the type of criticism and season he had a year ago. I know all that storyline stuff doesn't go into it, but Spencer Torkelson has a really good chance to make his first All-Star game this season, and I believe he should be the starter in the American League at first base. Remember that. Presented by Matt Larson, Farm Bureau agent, located downtown Midland.
Hey teachers, coaches, and club advisors, this one's for you. School night is coming to Bounce and Bites on June 15th, and the Moody Foundation wants your school's teams and clubs to join us. It's a chance to showcase your program, connect with the community, and even recruit new members. We'll provide the crowd, you bring the spirit, and it's totally free to participate. Sign up today at bounceandbites.com and let your school shine under the lights. The word bounce, the letter N, the word bites.com. School night, where community meets classroom, powered by the Moody Foundation. Brought to you by the Moody Foundation, helping every kid find their thing.
The love of the game draws us to sports, as players, coaches, spectators, and officials. For officials, it's a way to stay in the game they once played, to feel the thrill of putting on the uniform, stepping out of the playing surface, hustling to make the call, and building the relationships which can only be built in sports. If you still have that love for the game, we always need new officials. Register now at MHSAA.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Can you go anywhere and find an endeavor in society where we've come to accept and tolerate an adult, and even kids, treating another adult the way we allow spectators, coaches, and players to treat a high school game official? Can you? No one has the right to abuse game officials. So before you blurt something out about that next close call, consider this. Without the officials, nobody wins. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
From the Blazy Electric Studios, this is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt, WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland. Michigan sports aren't just a game, they're a way of life. And now we've got a show dedicated to die-hard sports fans like you. Hosted by a guy who's borderline obsessed with the wins and losses of all your favorite teams.
He's crazy.
Every weekday morning from 9 to noon, Ben Bosscher brings you the talk that matters. The teams, the stories, and the players you care about most. This is the Ben Bosscher Show. Appointment radio across the state.
Remember that. Hello, and welcome into the Ben Bosscher Show. Good morning, Great Lakes Bay region. Good morning, everyone listening and watching on YouTube. Man, what a weekend. Personally, soaked in some sun. Got to hang out downtown Midlands. Commons open. Great time, live music. Maybe a little bit too much sun. I got my Pistons gear on. I've got my caffeine. No free ads, though. Put that down here for now. I'm excited to get things started. All right, and I'm not going to lie, after the show on Friday, go home, Tarek Skubal Friday night, they listened, they did not wear those ugly, hideous City Connect jerseys, and Tarek Skubal went out and did Tarek Skubal stuff. The Friday night Scoobs games are just something else, and I had a feeling of fulfillment, you know? Whole week of the first week of the Ben Bosscher Show came to an end, sitting on the couch watching Tarek Skubal on a Friday night, felt blessed. Honestly. And now we're back doing it again. Week number 2, Ben Bosscher Show. get things rolling here on a Monday. I just want to say this. The Detroit Tigers beating the Cubs, I thought, was just an awesome watch throughout the weekend. Other than Saturday, where the Tigers kind of got lit up. Kyler Montero didn't have his best outing. They gave up 5 home runs as a team. Cubs kind of go bananas on the scoreboard. But they make up for it on Friday, and they make up for it on Sunday, and deliver a series win in Comerica Park against what was the National League's best team record-wise. And just like that, the Tigers continue to stack wins. There was a little bit of a slump. There was some complaints being thrown around, from myself included, about that White Sox series, and I don't think anybody has to apologize for that. They didn't play their best series against the White Sox, and it was a little bit embarrassing to split with a team like that when you consider yourself a World Series contender. They hear the noise. They come out and respond in a big way Friday and Sunday against the Cubs and end up taking the series. But if I'm going to sit here and be honest with you, I almost don't want to jump into, hey, here's what happened this weekend. Because we could do that. Hey, Jack Flaherty, 4th straight start. Stellar start for Jack Flaherty. 9 Ks, 3 walks yesterday in 6 innings pitched. And with some guys down based on injury right now, like Job and Olsen, it's nice to be able to have Jack Flaherty back to Jack Flaherty form, because at the beginning of the season, it wasn't, right? It looked like, hey, why'd they give this guy $25 million? He's destroyed that narrative in his past 5 starts, really. We could talk about Riley Green and Spencer Torkelson being that duo that has been promised for so long and finally coming to fruition. Yesterday's game, 4-0 shutout win. Green and Torkelson each have 2 RBIs. Those are the 4 runs that end up scoring. Those guys look like all-stars. Riley Green's making all-star plays out in the outfield on national television, nonetheless, on Friday night. Apple TV, by the way, I thought that broadcast was fantastic. Casual, right? You get the sideline reporter wearing the Apple can headphones, not dressed up for TV, just looked like everyone on the staff on TV just looked like they were enjoying a baseball game at Comerica Park. The interviews, not in the middle of the inning, but between the innings, I thought was a good touch on things. Apple TV, MLB broadcasts. Might have to buy some stock on those later when we do the stock market exchange. So we could talk about all that stuff, right? Will Vest coming in, being a demon in that game after Tarek Skubal gets taken out. And we can talk about Tarek Skubal too. I mean, geez, man. 0 walks again, 6 Ks, so kind of a bad day for his standards on Friday. I was joking with my friend watching that game. I think for anyone who used to play Madden, remember the badge they used to give out to people, Hall of Fame Truz? It was like, hey, no matter what, this guy's just not going to fumble the ball. It was like a cheat code when you were playing with Lamar Jackson, because he could just take hits from the biggest linebackers and he wouldn't fumble the ball because you could truz him. That's what Tarek Skubal has, Hall of Fame Truz. Oh, he gave up a double to start out the inning? Don't worry about it, man. He'll get out of it. Have no doubt about it. And that's what Tarek Skubal did on Friday night. It wasn't one of his spectacular outings that has every single eye in professional baseball attached to him, but it was just another one of those 0 walks, 6 Ks. They end up getting the win. He goes 7 1/3 inning, I believe. Or 7 2/3 inning. So he was fantastic, right? We can get into a bunch of stuff. I could sit here and complain that Javi Baez hasn't looked like Javi Baez, or maybe the correct verbiage on that should say he's looked like Javi Baez again ever since that 2-home run game against the Red Sox, now hitting below 200 since that moment. Look, we can go through all that stuff, but if I'm being honest with you, they're still the best team in baseball. Everything that I said about this team last week remains true. I don't trust the bullpen outside of Vest and Canely. They've got all these stars in the lineup that other teams legitimately have to worry about, and you look around the rest of the American League, and there's not a team that really imposes a giant threat, or that at least you're scared of. You got to take some teams seriously, obviously. The Yankees have the scariest hitter in baseball. You already lost a series to the Astros. Seattle's got a good team put together. But you look around, it's like this is the most consistent team that has the most tangible things you can point to and say this is the best team in the American League. And I know the way that this is going to come across. I know there are some people out there that are not going to want to hear it, and there's going to be some people that call me idiot. Call me an idiot for even bringing this up. I don't care. I'll be the guy to continue to do it. I'll be the guy that gets made fun of for it. I'm okay embracing that role. I think the Tigers need to go make an offer for Paul Skenes that the Pirates literally cannot refuse, right? I know we chat on it yesterday. I feel even stronger about it after this weekend. Look how good this baseball team is. Look how good the Detroit Tigers are. What happens when you add someone like Paul Skenes to the starting rotation? And I know what you're thinking. The Pirates insist they will not be selling Paul Skenes. The Tigers have an offer on the table. No, they don't have an offer on the table, but they could put an offer on the table that the Pirates have no choice of saying no to. Because you look at the Tigers farm system. Max Clark, Kevin McGonigal. You can throw Jackson Jobe into this. Trace Sweeney into this. Bryce Rayner. Jose Briseño. I don't care what it takes. I'll get rid of all those guys if it means that Paul Skenes is playing in Detroit and wearing the old English D. Because none of those guys are going to help the Tigers win a World Series this year. And the Pirates can continue to say we're not trading Paul Skenes. What happens when the Tigers offer him 5 top 100 prospects and Jackson Jobe and Trace Sweeney? Then what? Then what? I'm not saying offer every single one of those right off the bat, but let's start playing a game here. Let's pick up the phone and see if they can actually make this thing happen. Because if you're going to sit around and not at least pick up the phone and not give the Pirates a call, what are we doing? You've got a chance to go have the best 1-2 punch, not just in baseball, but in a long time in baseball. Maybe since Verlander Scherzer, which is pretty ironic. And then you can bring in a guy like Skenes, pair him up with Skubal, the best right-handed pitcher, the best left-handed pitcher across the league, both playing on the same team. That's how you go toe-to-toe with the Dodgers. And I know this is everything I've already repeated last week, but that's just the thing. I feel like this team can make it out of the American League, but it's a 3-game series, first round. It's a 5-game series the next. Things can go wrong. Give yourself some insurance that by the time the postseason rolls around, you've got 2 guys that when they step on the mound, you're going to win. And that's not really the case right now for Skenes, even though he has a 1.52 ERA in his last 7 starts. 53 Ks, 16 walks. 8 starts. The Pirates are 3-5 in those games. His career is being wasted in Pittsburgh. Pick up the phone. Max Clark, Kevin McGonigal, Jose Briseño. You want Jackson Jobe too? Fine. I don't care. Take them all. You want Bryce Rayner with a broken shoulder? Fine. Go pair up Tarik Skubal and Paul Skenes. Maybe I'm preaching to nobody right now. Maybe the Pirates legitimately would not trade him for anything. But I'm telling you, you look at the Tigers farm system and they've got a boatload of assets. They're like the Oklahoma City Thunder of Major League Baseball. Not only do they have the best record in the league, like Oklahoma City did for 99.9 of the NBA regular season, they also have a war chest of assets, future assets, that they can start trading and making their team even more talented. Why on earth would you not capitalize on that? I get it. You want sustained success. You know what I want more than sustained success? Is a World Series ring, because it has been 40 freaking years since the Tigers have brought one of those home. I've never seen it. I've never seen Detroit win a ring, period. I'm 23. I'm blessed and honored and privileged to be in this chair right now with this type of platform talking to you this young. I don't remember the 2008 Stanley Cup win. I don't remember the 2004 Detroit Pistons win. Maybe I shouldn't be saying all this right now, but I'm getting aggressive if I'm Scott Harris because I want to win a ring. All else is forgiven if you win a ring. I don't care if you re-sign Tarik Skubal. If you win a ring. If you bring in Paul Skenes, guess what? It's not as important to re-sign Tarik Skubal because you got the best right-handed pitcher in baseball. It makes perfect sense to do it. And this isn't just a rental situation. You get him for another 4 years. So for anyone who says, well, that's too much, Max Clark, Kevin McGonigal, you can't trade them both, and Jackson Jobe, you get the best right-handed pitcher in the world who's 23 for another 5 years of team control. What are you talking about? Getting worked up on a Monday. But I keep getting told this is not happening. This is immature, childish to bring this up. I don't think it is. and I'm not just doing this for clicks, because I've talked about this on the Pistons side of things. Oh, we could sit here and do fake Giannis trades, probably get clicks on it. I don't believe that's happening, and I don't think it should happen. But this actually has some legs to it, if you ask me. The Tigers could throw stuff out there that no other team could. They have 5 top 100 prospects, plus Job, plus Sweeney, plus whoever else they need to throw in this deal. Do they need to trade every single one of those guys? No, they don't. But you got to at least pick up the phone and call the Pirates if you're Scott Harris. That's just me. 989-837-6125. I am super excited for today's show. We've got more on what the Tigers are willing to give up at the deadline. Obviously, they just came off a huge series win against the Cubs, who were the best team in baseball on the National League side of things. No longer, because you ran into the Tigers, you ran into Comerica Park, a place that just feels like it has a real home field advantage right now. I'm starting to feel like I did with the Lions in the regular season, where it's like, hey, you're coming to Ford Field, good luck. Like, good luck to anybody else coming. Seems very unlikely that anybody's taking a series in Comerica Park in the foreseeable future. We've got the Monday morning stock exchange coming up at the 10 o'clock hour. We'll start the 10 o'clock hour with that. I have a question related to a sport we all love, but a league I'm just not sure has an audience, and I'm genuinely curious to see what kind of reaction we get from that. And of course, the Michigan sanctions. We've got updates on them. I don't know if they're the updates you want to hear, though. We'll get to it all here in the next 3 hours. Oh, and I'm filling in on Huge later today. So 3 to 6, you'll get me again. 6 hours of live radio today. We're trying something that we've never done before. Maybe I want to die by the end of it. I don't know. Maybe I'm still having the best time of my life. We'll see. 6 hours. Going to be a new personal record. 989-837-6125. Thanks for listening on YouTube. Thanks for watching on YouTube, I guess. Facebook Live as well. We're live right here in the Great Lakes Bay region on 100.9 the Mitt FM. Keep it rolling here on a Monday on 100.9 the Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 the Mitt.
Suit up, Sea Captain. At Dive and Glide in Midland, we've got all the gear you need to make a splash. Flippers that fit like a glove, masks that show you the underwater magic, and tanks ready to fuel your next adventure. Whether you're snorkeling the local lakes or dreaming of ocean depths, Dive and Glide has your back and your fins. Find us on Cambridge Street or swim over to diveandglideinc.com. Dive and Glide, making waves one splash at a time so you can dive deeper than ever before.
At Tommy's Express, you can get your car clean, shiny and dry in just minutes. Our state-of-the-art eco-friendly wash delivers a spotless finish every time. With the Tommy Club app, enjoy unlimited washes or paper wash. Skip the line with license plate recognition and manage everything right from your phone. Fast, clean, and simple. Visit Tommy's Express today and see the difference. Text Clean Card to 86697 for a free works wash.
Offer valid for new guests only. By participating, you consent to receive promotional information text from Tommy's Express. Message and data rates may apply. Message frequency varies.
Some nights are just different. The energy and feeling of being part of something bigger. That's what a Great Lakes Loons group outing is all about.
Whether it's your company, your family, or your best friends, the perfect space is waiting for you at Dow Diamond.
Relax in a private group venue with catering and wait service, or take in the action from a spacious pavilion where an all-you-can-eat buffet and amazing views bring everyone together.
With group packages starting at just $15 per person, it's more than just a game. It's an affordable shared experience at night out.
The best memories start here with your hometown team. Just visit loons.com.
Get ready, Michigan. Field of Frames Fest presented by Dow is taking over Dow Diamond September 26th through 28th. It's the ultimate celebration of gaming, esports, and community, bringing together fans, families, players, and industry pros for a 3-day festival like no other. Watch elite teams battle in high-stakes competition, the Valorant Collegiate Invitational and Rocket League Semi-Pro Showdown, each with $10,000 prize pools, a $5,000 Super Smash Bros. Open tournament, and a 17U Fortnite Youth Tournament with $1,000 up for grabs. There's live music, entertainment, and activities for all ages, plus educational panels and hands-on workshops for those interested in tech, business, and gaming industries. Tickets start at just $25, and kids 10 and under get in free. Don't miss your chance to be part of a landmark event. Visit fieldofframesfest.com to grab your tickets today. Field of Frames. Experience the element of gaming.
Why are interscholastic sports called the last classroom of the day? Because they teach students important life lessons like teamwork, accountability, and perseverance. School sports are so much more than a game. They're about developing the whole person. That's why they're an essential part of every student's education.
Encourage your student to participate in the last classroom of the day. Interscholastic sports in Michigan. This message presented by the MHSAA and the Michigan Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
Welcome back into the Ben Bosscher Show. Happy Monday. Hope everyone had a fantastic weekend. I'm starting the show right back in square one where we started the show last week because I feel even stronger about it. And look, people might call me crazy for it. I've definitely been called crazy for it here in the past week or so, increasingly more and more, especially on that old X app. Crazy place these days. But I believe it, man. I think this has some life to it, and I wouldn't be saying it just to get clicks. I hope everyone believes that. Look, the Tigers have the best farm system in Major League Baseball with 5 top 100 prospects, and that doesn't even include a Jackson Jobe. I think that they could call the Pirates tomorrow and give them an offer that's literally irresistible to add someone like Paul Skenes to the table, to the rotation with Tarek Skubal and Paul Skenes. All of a sudden, I'm looking at that like, hey, you might actually be able to beat the Dodgers if you have those two guys out for the first 2 games of a series. Kyle, producer Kyle, I need your help on this because last week when we started repeating this topic, which, look, I don't know, maybe we need to actually put it to bed after today and maybe we're going to keep going with it until the trade deadline. I don't know yet, but help me out here because I think you echo the sense of why would we trade the entire farm system for one guy, specifically someone who only pitches once every 5 days. Where do you land on this? Like, and don't be afraid to call me an idiot here because I want to hear what other people think about this. And again, you guys can text into 989-837-6125 or leave a comment in the YouTube chat. And also hit that like button in the YouTube chat or on YouTube if you're watching. There's way more people watching right now than there are who have hit the like button. I can see it. We need your guys' help getting this thing as big as possible. So please hit that like button. Sorry, Kyle, cut you off.
I mean, you talked about we should put this to bed after today. It was already in bed and tucked in, and you ripped the covers off and brought it back out of rest.
I couldn't wait.
This trade not only is the most unrealistic trade, the Pirates say no to whatever. Like, you can offer whatever you want, which one, Scott Harris won't do because he really values what he's built here in Detroit. He's, spoke on that multiple times. The Pirates say no to whatever gets offered. Like, there isn't a trade for Paul Skenes. It doesn't exist.
You're telling me the Pirates say no to Max Clark, Jackson Jobe, Kevin McGonigal, Jose Briseño, Trey Sweeney, and Bryce Rayner. You can throw all 6 of those guys in, and you still think the Pirates say no to that for Paul Skenes?
Yes. Okay. It's Paul Skenes. That would be the biggest trade that we've seen in our lifetime. That's the Luka trade.
Correct. And that seemed inconceivable 6 months ago. And it happened. I know that's a good point. It's a completely different league, but is it like how
you don't trade a 23-year-old pitcher that is already at the top of the league?
I watched a 23-year-old best hitter in the world that gets one of the best hitters in the world that gets plays every day rather than every 5 days get traded at 23 years old. Granted,
yeah, you want to know why he did? Because he was a year away from being paid.
That's the point I was just about to bring up. And Paul Skenes still here. 4 years of team control left, something like that?
Yes, at least.
So, I get it. This is a totally different circumstance. But, again, this is sports. Like, you don't believe it's going to happen until stuff actually happens. I refuse to believe that the Pirates are done, not doing it, no matter what. These guys' numbers are ridiculous, and they just don't win games. They just don't win games. You know what actually might be a brighter future than one pitcher, one guy you can point to and be like, that guy rocks? Is a pitcher who comes back as someone who was formerly a top 5 prospect in baseball in Jackson Jobe. Max Clark, top 7 prospect in baseball. Kevin McGonigal, depending on what site you look at, a top 10 prospect in baseball. A rookie shortstop, first-round pick from last season in Bryce Rayner. Jose Briseño, who's about to skyrocket up the MLB.com prospect rankings because he will not stop hitting home runs in West Michigan. I don't understand how that's not enticing for the Pirates.
For sure. It sounds fine and dandy and everything, but you got to remember who we're dealing with here. It's the Pittsburgh Pirates. It's one of the most incompetent franchises in all of the major league sports in America. Like, if that's the smart thing to do, they're not going to do it. What's going to happen is Paul Skenes is going to waste away 7 years in Pittsburgh, and they won't trade him. Then he's going to walk.
So is this more for you about Pittsburgh not ever going to agree to do this, or is this more about I wouldn't give up these prospects? Because I feel like I've heard you make both cases.
I make both cases. One, I think at number one by itself is that Pittsburgh won't do this. But let's say hypothetically they would, entertain doing this. I'm against it from the perspective of not necessarily you're giving up this humongous haul, but this all but guarantees Tarek Skubal does not get extended in Detroit. And I get you replacing Tarek Skubal with Paul Skenes. It's a pretty good replacement for sure.
I'd sign up for that.
But it's not the guy that has grown in Detroit, that is really connected to Tigers fans. Everybody loves Tarek Skubal. We saw that clip of him in the dugout on Friday after that Kerry Carpenter catch, showing all that emotion. Like, he is connected to the Detroit fans. And if you make that trade, Skubal's gone. There's no chance of you paying him.
If you make that trade, you could win the World Series.
You could win the World Series right now. How much does that change this year?
Kyle, look into the camera and tell me you think the Tigers can beat the Dodgers in a 7-game series with the rosters that they have right now. I can't do that.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm flipping it the opposite way. With Paul Skenes, they still can't beat the Dodgers. So
I don't know if
it's one
I
game,
can't go there with you.
That's one extra game that you can guarantee.
So you win the first 2 games of the series.
I mean, we've seen them lose games with...
I know. But that trade gives you the best chance to win a World Series in the next 2 seasons, because this isn't a rental. You would guarantee get Paul Skenes and Tarek Skubal together for an additional season next year if you don't win the World Series, without losing a single bat that's on the team right now that's making any sort of impact. Trey Sweeney,
Torres, you could lose
in that trade. I see what you mean. But with this trade, you're not losing anything. I guess Trey Sweeney, but he's kind of been worked out of the starting lineup the way that Hinch was constructing it this weekend. You're not actually losing anything tangible. And again, Gleyber Torres is something tangible. So maybe that was a really good point, actually. But you're not losing any bats for next season, because odds are Max Clark's probably not helping you next season either, maybe a tiny bit. Neither is McGonigal. Neither is, if you replace Job with Skenes, then what's the big deal? I get it. You don't want to sell the entire farm, but at what point, you're going to have to give up some prospects this deadline. And I guess I just want Tigers fans to start recognizing, who's available and who's not. Who's on the table? Who are you willing to move? How much are you willing to move? Because for me, if I haven't already made this clear, it's everybody and anybody. You're on the block. You need players now to help you win a World Series now, because the window, there's no a window right now, but you look around the American League, capitalize on it. There's no other teams that are scary. So make yourself even better and actually form some sort of lineup or some sort of rotation that gives you some sort of confidence to be able to beat the Dodgers, because that's the standard right now. I can't look at the camera and say I think the Tigers can beat the Dodgers in a 7-game series right now. They trade a Paul Skenes or trade for him, then we're actually talking about something tangible.
It depends. How much do you have to do to beat the Dodgers? Because I think a lot of Tigers fans give Dave Dombrowski and his run more crap than he deserves, because he was all in. He wanted them to, he was willing to sell the farm to put a good product on the field. But at the end of the day, it didn't work out, and it set the franchise back a really long time. And if you sell the farm system and don't come out on top and beat this Dodgers team that might seem impossible to beat, then you're just back in that same situation, right? You don't want to.
At least you can say you tried.
But they can try right now, it's not like they're bad. You just displayed it in the previous segment.
No,
they are the best team in the American League when you look across the way.
I don't think they're a bad team, to be clear. That'd be crazy.
Well, yeah, I didn't say that. I'm just talking they are contenders right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying don't make a single trade, but selling the whole farm.
How much are you willing to give up, though? Is there anyone that's off the table, would not give this player up for anything? Or is everybody on the table for you?
I mean, I would love to keep one of Clark or McGonigal. Selling both of them seems kind of crazy.
Okay. Fair enough.
McGonigal seems like the shortstop of the future. I would love to keep him.
Rayner just a little bit too far away to
a little bit
lock
too far
that in.
away.
No, that's fair.
For sure.
That's totally fair. That's totally fair. I want to hear what other people have to say about this. Who's on the table? Who's off the table? Who are you willing to give up? What are you willing to give up? How much are you willing to give up? 989-837-6125. You guys can text in, send us a Mitt message, or leave a comment on YouTube. We'll get to that here in just a little bit too. Hey, I honestly got to tell you, I had a fantastic weekend, and part of the reason I had such a good weekend was I was able to go to the Midland Community Center, the Greater Midland Community Center. It's your hub for health, wellness, and fun, right in the heart of Midland. From fitness classes and open gyms to swimming, youth sports, and family activities, there's something for everybody. Affordable memberships, expert staff, and a welcoming space for all ages and abilities. Hosting an event? Ask about their rental space and full-service event support. Stay active, stay connected, all under one roof at Greater Midland Community Center. Learn more or sign up today at greatermidland.org. Sat in the sauna for about 20 minutes over the weekend, too. I think if I went in there right now, under the circumstances I put myself in from sitting in the sun a little bit too much, which...
Death, maybe?
I've got a picture later to show everyone. Dude, I think I would cry if I was in there for like 30 seconds. I think I'd melt away.
That would be life-altering, probably.
But when I'm not sunburned, I love the sauna. I love the community center. Great place to be. Try to get there 7 times a week. Usually it ends up being 6 times a week. It's a great place to hang. All right, everyone. When we come back, we'll hit the news and go over some more stuff with the Michigan sanctions. Did we learn anything, or is this just useless talk? We'll get to that in a second here. It's the Ben Bosscher Show on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
Last week, the Loons were out in South Bend, Indiana to take on the Cubs for a 6-game series. One of those games, they'd make Loons history. A combined no-hitter, a 7-inning contest, which Great Lakes would win 3-0, and they'd throw a no-hitter. Eric Swan, 6 innings. Roque Gutierrez, the final 3 outs. The second Loons no-hitter in franchise history. He comes still. Payoff pitch. Called the third strike on the outside edge. Great Lakes, a no-hitter. Eric Swan, 6 innings. Roque Gutierrez, the final 3 outs. And Great Lakes in celebration mode. First no-hitter as a club since 2021. And they do it on the road here in South Bend. Loons start a 12-game homestand Tuesday at 7:05.
Mountain View Restaurant at Apple Mountain, where casual elegance meets breathtaking views. Our new expanded menu features a wide variety of dishes to satisfy every palate, from fresh seasonal options to your all-time favorites. Whether you're hosting a client lunch, enjoying happy hour, or planning a date night, we have the perfect setting for every occasion. Don't miss our weekly features and refreshing beverages. In the summer, dine al fresco on our beautiful patio and soak in the scenery. Mountain View, where great food meets spectacular views.
Hey sports fans, heading up north? Whether you're gearing up for the big game, hosting friends, or winding down after a long day, Hops and Schnapps is your ultimate beverage destination. With one of the largest selections of beer, wine, and spirits in Michigan, featuring over 1,000 options from around the globe, we're your beverage experts. Plus, our friendly team is here to help you find the perfect pick. Visit us in Standish, Grayling, and Gaylord today. Hops and Schnapps, raise your glass, raise your spirits.
At Sandy Ridge, our completely renovated clubhouse is ready for you. With a brand new full kitchen, a spacious deck, and plenty of room for any event, it's the perfect spot for weddings, parties, or any special gathering. And that's not all. Our whole 16 green has been redesigned and is better than ever. Plus, our greens are the truest around, on par with the top courses, but at a price that fits your budget. Come visit us today at Sandy Ridge and see why we're the perfect choice for your next event.
Midland Eye Care wants you to know, according to a recent study conducted by the AOA, the Optical Laboratories Association, and the Vision Council, nearly half of all glasses ordered online had either prescription errors or failed to meet minimum safety standards. Midland Eye Care offers a full-service optical department meeting all your eye care needs. So call your local Midland Eye Care and avoid incorrect prescriptions costing you time and money. Midland Eye Care, your vision source on Eastman Road in Midland, on Cedar and Gladwin, and on East Washington and Freeland.
Scrolling? Make it count. Want local sports content that actually matters? Yeah. 100.9 The Mitt is loaded with local highlights, viral plays, breaking sports news, and takes you can't get enough of.
It's hot!
Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube today, and you'll never be out of the loop on the Lions, Tigers, Pistons, Red Wings, Michigan State, and even the biggest stories in high school sports in the Great Lakes Bay region. 100.9 The Mitt, Mid-Michigan's sports leader. From the hometown heroes to the college legends to the pros on Sunday, 100.9 The Mitt is your home for wall-to-wall play-by-play coverage. High school football, basketball, and hockey.
Region champions for the first time in school history.
Michigan State football and basketball.
Touchdown, MSU!
The NFL, Thursday, Sunday, and Monday night primetime games. And don't think we forgot about your hometown team. The Great Lakes lose.
That ball's over and out of here.
100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
989-837-6125. That's the number to get a hold of us here. You guys can send in a Mitt message. We've got some of those right now. Wow, this is... Cal, we've got... Dwayne's going after you right now, man. I'm just going to... Wow. I'm giving you a fair warning before I read this. Starting on Monday, hot. Kyle is a moron. The Tigers can beat the Dodgers without Skenes. Kyle will eat his words when the Tigers go to the World Series and beat the Dodgers in the World Series. It's going to happen. Kyle still has baby milk breath. Oh, man. Mean for a Monday, man.
I mean, what does that even mean?
Baby milk breath? I don't know. I might start saying that to you just for the sake of it.
Okay, but technically he's going at you, too.
Yeah,
right?
I feel like he's going after my take, but used your name.
Well, because he says that the Tigers can beat the Dodgers without Skenes. So he's saying that they don't need him. So he's going at both of us here.
Yeah, I think that's crazy. I don't think they can. Some things would have to really break the Tigers' way. Like, all of a sudden, Shohei's injured. But, like, I mean, Shohei got injured last year, and it still didn't really matter.
And baseball, look, to Dwayne's point, baseball is the most random, probably, out of the major four. Whereas, like, one of the best teams can just lose in the divisional series out of nowhere.
Until this Dodgers team, yeah, but go ahead, finish your point.
It still could happen. No, that's all I'm saying is it's possible for the Dodgers to just lose early. It's how baseball works. A lot of teams can just go on runs. So I'll give him that. Who knows?
Yeah, he's right though. You do have some baby milk breath. I don't know. Again,
oh, right? Yeah, he is right on that. Yeah, just a solid text.
All right, 9:30 a.m. 200 milligrams of caffeine. We'll get 200 more at some point today. 6 hours of radio, man. I'm excited.
It's a long day.
It's a long day, but this is what we all signed up for, right? No point complaining.
Right.
I'm pumped up for it. I can't wait to see what what'd be funny is just if you know me, if you're out there listening, have a personal relationship, give me a call at like 6:05. See how I'm doing, man.
I might call you, make sure you're okay. Just like a check-in.
I'll be good. One more comment.
It's a long week though. We got the Loons after the show this week at home. So it's a big week.
Huge asked me to fill in on Tuesday too. And I had to make the mental decision, like, dude, I don't think I can do this show from 9 to noon, Huge show from 3 to 6, and then do the Loons game. I think I'd actually melt.
That's game 1 of 6 of the week too.
With back-to-back homestands too.
Yeah.
I think I'd die.
It's just a major no there.
We'll do one more comment, and then we'll get to the news for today. Why are the Dodgers end-all, be-all to come out of the NL? They're currently third. They're third currently and have 3 games, and are 3 games behind the Mets. I don't know, man. I think they're just like the standard, and maybe that's just us working here at the ballpark for a high A affiliate of them. But to your point, baseball's somewhat random. Once you get into the postseason, we see the number 1 seed lose all the time. But this seems like a new era of baseball where the Dodgers have kind of cracked the code on a loophole in the system, and it's not their fault. Like, I see so many people just hating on the Dodgers for the roster that they're able to put together. They're being competitive. I wish the Tigers would do stuff like that, right? And I think the bigger problem is you have teams like the White Sox and Rockies and Athletics who just won't spend money, which makes the gap between the best and the worst as big as it's ever been, not only in Major League Baseball, but across any single sport. I just think now we're in a new era of like, this Dodgers team is so effing good, so much better than anyone else in the NL, in my opinion. that I am kind of just writing them into the World Series. They've just got too many superstars. I get it. They can lose, but I would be pretty shocked if they weren't in the World Series this year.
I think it's also just the American League is much worse than the National League this season.
That's also true. Yeah. The Tigers are, I mean, they benefit from that. I'm not saying like they're lucky,
right,
but like they are a little bit. All right, let's do the news.
The Mitt's Morning Catch.
All right, let's hop into today's news. We have some breaking news in the NFL side of things this morning. Packers 7-year cornerback Jair Alexander, 2-time Pro Bowler as well, to be released today. Big news. Will he be leaving the division, or we don't have to worry about Jair anymore?
I mean, I don't know where he'll be going. It wouldn't surprise me at all if the Bears gave him a call just because they want to be competitive right away, and that's someone with a ton of upside that probably won't cost a whole lot because I haven't read all the details on it. I'd imagine the Packers are probably still paying the majority of his contracts. I would assume. The rest of it. Look, man, that's just a guy who won't stay on the field. I mean, if you look at the games played the last 3 years, it's 7, 16, and then you go back another year in 2021, he played 4 games. Not to mention, there's always something going on with him that's not football related. Like remember the not self-imposed, but Green Bay had to suspend him a game because he went out there for the coin toss and almost screwed it up. And
when he wasn't even supposed to be out there, yeah.
He wasn't even a captain. He was just playing his hometown team. I don't remember who it was. And he was just like, yeah, I'll go out there. Almost screwed it up. Like, it's just weird stuff like that, man. He's an oddball. I don't think the Lions would welcome him in whatsoever, but I don't know. I feel like this happens a good amount where a team decides, hey, we're moving on, clearing up some cap space, and then he just stays within the division. I really wouldn't be surprised if he ended up being a Bear.
Right. He is very good when he plays, but like you said, just hasn't been on the field. I mean, even against the Lions the last couple years, like, has just missed a majority of the games against Detroit. But shout out to Jair Alexander for, being like the originator of the seatbelt.
He came up with that?
He was really like the first dude that was popular doing it. I don't know if he actually created it, but
everyone talks about the diva wide receivers, man. There's a lot of diva corners. He might be the king of the diva corners.
They're just like the receivers.
Yeah.
They're pretty similar archetypes.
They are. Yeah, I don't know, man. Would you be surprised? I'll try to look in before we do the next news segment of how much cap space they save versus how much dead cap they have. But if they ended up clearing up some space, would you be surprised if they tried to get Trey Hendrickson in the building and extend him?
The Packers?
Yeah.
Could be the case. I didn't really think about that. That wouldn't shock me. We'll see.
That'd be a little scary. Gary and him together. Anyway.
Especially after you've hoped him to be on the Lions for all these months, too.
Me personally, yeah. I've still got people in the comments saying,
what's more likely to happen? Trey Hendrickson or Paul Skenes? Here's the real answer.
Paul Skenes.
Neither, because they're both pipe dreams.
Hey,
Paul Skenes
let a man dream.
Likely?
Let a man dream.
That's crazy.
Don't be a dream wrecker,
Okay.
You know how sometimes when you're having a good dream and you wake up and you're like, I want to go back to bed. You're the guy who's just waking up everybody right now.
His dreams aren't real. That's why. Yeah, I am being that guy. All right, let's move on. NBA. SGA and the Thunder won Game 2 against the Pacers last night. Series tied up at 1 apiece, headed to Indiana.
I feel like I've had an okay read on this series. I didn't put it as a lock of the day, but I think I said a couple times last week, like, hey, if Indiana's going to get one, it's going to be Game 1 because the Thunder aren't going to be used to just the style of play just because it's so unique. Right. They're going to have a game to adjust to it. And sure enough, they played the Thunder really well Game 1. Took an incredible comeback win, but that's kind of what the Pacers have done all playoffs long. And then yesterday, I didn't have a lock of the day, of course, because it was a Sunday. We didn't have a show, but I bet alternate spread for the Thunder. I thought it was going to be a blowout, and it was for the most
seemed
part.
Pretty obvious, yeah.
Yeah, it was. I think this is kind of the direction that the series goes from here. I'd be happy and also somewhat surprised if the Thunder lost another game. Is that fair? But
I agree.
I don't know, man. I like this Pacers team a lot, and I feel like they're going to get forgotten in history if it ends up being a 5-game series and it's like, oh, whatever, the Thunder kind of just walks to the finals. But I like this Pacers team a lot, man. I think their brand is so fun to watch. This Thunder team is just a juggernaut. I think we've mentioned it enough times, and I don't know why people still won't really recognize that, but this is probably the best finals team if they go on to win the ring since Kevin Durant Warriors, honestly.
It potentially is, and it's just year one. You know, it's going to continue.
That's the scary part.
It's scary. Well, let's move from one series you have a pretty good read on to one that you clearly do not, based off of the lock of the days. Stanley Cup Finals, Edmonton versus Florida. Game 3 is tonight, also tied up at 1 apiece. At 8, they're back in Florida now.
Do you think we get another overtime game?
We went double, or we went single, then we went double, so I don't know. What a crazy game that was Friday night, dude. I was at a bar watching the game, just standing at the TV, just staring for an hour straight in OT, waiting for something crazy to happen, and it took till double.
I used to be the guy when we'd go out in college. Like, my friends would have to drag me out of the apartment. Like, come on, dude, it's Friday night. Like, let's go out. And be like, okay, fine. Like, you do know, like, Thunder and, I don't know, the Celtics are playing at 10 o'clock. And I'd just end up staring in front of the TV, watching whatever game was on. Not socializing with anyone. Wondering, why am I not just doing this on my couch? That just
you know what I learned this
learn?
Weekend with that? I think hockey's the best bar watching sport.
Really?
For like, at least for me, because it's the one I follow the least. That or baseball. I don't know though, because it's a casual watch that no one really knows a ton about it. But like when cool stuff happens, everybody loves it at the bar. Like when a fight goes down, everybody's reacting. I think it's a really good bar watching sport.
That's fair. You kind of have to be paying attention the whole time, otherwise you might miss something though.
Well, yeah. But
and I feel like it's not like that for
at least for me, because I'm a
football.
casual fan. If I miss something, I'm not like crazy pressed about it.
That's fair. No, that's a good take.
All right, let's move on. More NFL news. Nick Chubb to the Texans. 1-year deal. Team up with Joe Mixon, oldest backfield in NFL history.
Really?
I'm just making that up.
Oh, it might be.
They're not even that old, really. Mixon's like 30.
They've got Miles,
Chubb's
though.
probably around there. Yes.
They've got Miles.
They do have
though.
Miles.
I don't hate it. Like, I think it's a good spot for Chubb. Anyone who has real expectations for like Chubb in fantasy, I think you're out of your mind at this point in his career. But like, I don't know, you're on the 1 yard line. It's not a bad option to have if you're the Texans, right?
Yeah, it's fine. Like maybe it affects Joe Mixon's fantasy value this year. He didn't have a ton anyways going into the last year of that deal. But yeah, it's whatever. Aaron Rodgers, we know the numbers. 1 year, $13 million deal with $10 million guaranteed for the Steelers this year. I asked you this question Friday, I think, but will Rodgers be starting in that game against the Lions? Week 16, I believe it is.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yes.
He'll be benched by then?
I don't think he'll be benched. They handcuff themselves to him. They have no other options. They're not starting Mason Rudolph if they have the option.
Right. Yeah.
You just can't.
All right, last thing. We got some other things we can get to in the next news segment. We'll close it off with here. This is old news, but we got to bring it up because we didn't get to talk about it. Andy Ibanez was sent down to AAA with Akil Baddoo being DFA'd for Jahmai Jones, who was called up. And man, first pitch that he's seen in a Tigers uniform in 2025, he went yard. How cool was that?
Do you think anybody bought the jersey? Do you think anybody...
The Jahmai Jones?
Yeah. Remember the Akil Baddoo? I don't know if it was his first pitch or first at-bat. Hit a home run.
Yeah, that's right.
Game winner for the Tigers. I forget. It wasn't a home run, but it was a walk-off. And then he just had like this incredible first series in a Tigers uniform.
My roommate bought a Akil Baddoo jersey.
I had a buddy buy an Akil Baddoo jersey too.
Yeah, like he was a cool Rule 5 story too. But obviously now he's gone. And Ibanez, we did learn he still had one minor league option remaining on his contract. So that is why he was allowed to get sent down, despite the service time thing. He still had another option. So.
How many Tigers passed the jersey test? I think this is a pretty good
buy a jersey.
Yeah, I think this is a good judgment of how good a team is in any sport. How many jerseys do you see around Comerica Park? Green, Torque, Scooble?
I would think
none of which have been signed to a long-term contract.
That's a good point.
Carpenter
you see a lot of
doesn't pass
Javi
it too?
jerseys, like just because that was the one that you got when he signed with Detroit.
Yeah. Maybe it is just 3.5. I don't see a lot of Carpenter jerseys. That's a crazy thing.
No, not at all. I don't think I've actually ever seen one. I haven't been to a Tigers game yet this year, so.
Is Akil Baddoo the worst jersey to have? Like if you bought that, are you just like, oh man, That's a tough purchase. $120 down the drain, but hell of a rookie season.
And not only that, he wore number 60. Like, what a weird jersey to wear.
My same buddy who bought an Akil Baddoo jersey ended up buying an Eric Haas jersey later on that season, too. The Kool-Aid was being sipped. The Kool-Aid was being sipped. 989-837-6125. The Michigan sanctions, the saga continues. Did we get any real updates, or is it just talk? I'll tell you when we come back. It's the Ben Bosscher Show, 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
It is the Scholar Athlete of the Month, proudly presented by Fisher Companies here on Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. This month's recipient is Kari Kiefer from Freeland High School. With a 3.97 GPA, Kari is a three-sport athlete competing in cross-country, track, and basketball. Kari is a leader on the floor and talked on what she thinks makes an effective leader.
I think to be a great leader, you have to be able to hold each other accountable, like being able to give constructive criticism, but also a positive with it. Anytime I kind of talk with my teammates, I try to give them a positive if I'm going to give them a negative too, just to kind of balance it out and keep that relationship strong.
Kari scored over 1,500 points in her 4 seasons at Freeland. She'll continue her basketball and academic career at Northwood University. To hear the full interview and nominate a local athlete for our scholarship program, visit 1009themitt.com.
Hi, this is Jim Mahoney with Link Technologies. If you are a business or a nonprofit organization wondering how to navigate today's technologies landscape, let Link Technologies' talented staff work with you to develop a technology plan custom to your specific needs. We bring 27 years of experience helping businesses and nonprofit organizations just like yours achieve their technology goals. Contact us today and see how the right balance between cloud and on-premise resources can best work for you.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Ace Hardware and Sports in downtown Midland has some extra savings for rewards members this month. Let's clean up that yard. Save $3 instantly on select Roundup and Ortho weed killers. Save $10 on 64-ounce spruce, weed, and grass killer. You know what season it is? Grilling season. Free assembly and delivery on grills, $399 and up from brands like Weber and Traeger. Need that deck touched up? Do it and save $10 instantly on a gallon of Cabot exterior stain.
Something happened when we can't be our true selves. You can hear it in our laughs. There's the half-hearted chuckle.
Oh.
The courtesy conference caller.
Yeah, great.
And of course, the I'm only laughing because I'm dating your daughter.
Oh, that's so true.
If you want to laugh for real, try having some Miller Lite with some friends. It works. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2021 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin beer.
Make every trip to Dow Diamond unforgettable with a Great Lakes Loons ticket package. Choose a 5-game or 10-game plan and enjoy priority seating, food and drink credits, and exclusive discounts on merchandise. Want even more? Go for a bronze, silver, or gold membership and get the VIP treatment. Bigger discounts, exclusive events, bonus food and drink credit, or free parking. Great games, great perks, and great memories with your hometown team. Starting with something as small as a 5-game plan at $62. Visit loons.com to secure your package today.
At the Great Lakes Loons, our commitment to community goes beyond the ballpark. Through the Volunteer program, Loons staff and even players roll up their sleeves to serve the Great Lakes Bay region. From packing food boxes to reading in classrooms and even cleaning up local camps and parks, it's hands-on work that helps build a stronger, more connected community. Volunteer isn't just what we do, it's who we are. Because being part of this region means showing up when it counts. The Great Lakes Loons, serving the Great Lakes Bay region since 2007.
This is more than just a lineup. It's a daily ritual for the die-hard Michigan sports fans. At 6 a.m., Anthony Bellino wakes up the state with Spin on Sports.
I do not believe it.
At 9, the Ben Bosscher Show is appointment listening hosted here in the Great Lakes Bay region.
I would like to buy some Casey Mize stock.
America's Best takes over at noon. The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
Well, what about Patrick Mahomes?
And at 3, Bill Simonson brings it home on The Huge Show. Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt for the most passionate fans in Michigan. From Midland to Bay City, Saginaw to Sanford, from Frankenmuth, Greenland, and Hemlock to Auburn, Essexville, and Pinconning, 100.9 The Mitt is the heartbeat of the Great Lakes Bay region and proud of it. We're your home for local sports, local stories, and local pride. Whether you're in Birch Run, Beaverton, Gladwin, Chesaning, or Coleman, football, basketball, hockey, Spartans, NFL, Loons, all right here. 100.9 The Mitt, Mid-Michigan's sports leader.
Here are 5 good reasons for high school multi-sport participation. Fewer overuse injuries, less opportunity for emotional burnout, exposure to different kids and coaches, exposure to different roles, and learning to compete better. Being a multi-sport participant can help a kid become a more well-rounded person. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, welcome back into the Ben Bosscher Show right here on 100.9 The Mitt. I mean, Kyle, I wanted to dive into the Michigan thing here for a second, but to be honest, we've only got a couple minutes before we go to break, so we'll save that for the 10 o'clock hour. I cannot believe what happened after Friday's show with the segment that we closed with.
We got to talk about it.
So sometimes when you pull up the dual camera, you might see our director of sales in the background, Sarah Stockford. And we had her on the show to close things off. And I was like, Sarah, I just need one take from you once a week. You just got to give us something gold. Say something you believe. I don't want you to workshop it. I don't want you to run by it with anyone. I just want you to say something that's on your mind. And it went better than anyone could have possibly imagined. Calls Patrick Mahomes overrated. And all of a sudden, she's got 199K impressions on Twitter from accounts that are just reposting it, taking the time out of their day to take screenshots and make graphics with the full quote in there, tagging 100.9 The Mitt, questioning whether or not, I don't know, they're questioning everything. The whole thing's being aggravated right now. It's hilarious.
It is amazing. I mean, it's a Chiefs fan page on Twitter that quoted this, made a graphic, quoted what Sarah said, and then basically called her out for it. It is like, I can't imagine what's going through their heads.
I don't know either. But I saw this last night. Like, I guess I just got through the weekend without ever seeing how much it blew up on Twitter because we never posted it on Twitter, right?
Right.
And I finally
they must have found it on Instagram or TikTok, yeah.
And I finally opened up the Mitt's Twitter account, and I just saw like a million notifications like flooding in. One account reposts it with the whole quote. It's like, what was the caption on it?
It was like Sarah Stockford's take on Patrick Mahomes or something like that.
Can we please show this radio host the lost and found because she's lost it? With the screenshot of her, Mahomes, and the entire quote in there from Starcade Media. I saw this last night and just started dying laughing out loud. I was like, I can't even get people to react like this, sitting in front of this microphone. But our director of sales hops on.
It's because you never had a take that good.
I know. Our director of sales hops in front of a mic one time, and all of a sudden the entire Twitter universe is blowing up over the quote that she said. And we didn't even post it there.
It's awesome. It's unreal, actually. It's just crazy.
We always joke about switching jobs for a day. Sarah, you might actually just have to take both of our jobs, and I'll go find something else to do for the station because that was one of the best. I think it's the best thing on Twitter that the station's had. Like 200,000 impressions.
It wasn't even posted on Twitter. That's the funniest part.
No, someone found it on Instagram, took the quote, made a graphic out of it, and then just had everyone divided on Twitter. There's people on there saying dumbest take of all time. There's people 100% correct. Now I'm seeing stuff that's like, yeah, Patrick Mahomes, benefit of the Andy Reid system. This is the only girl who's been telling the truth about it the whole time.
It's Ben telling the truth.
Yeah. Like what happened? I just can't believe someone saw it, was that upset about it, and took the time out of their day to create a graphic and post it on Twitter. Just incredible stuff. To be honest, slightly jealous that I can't get a reaction like that out of people. Maybe I just got to come out with some more blazing takes. Like, hey, maybe the Tigers should trade everyone for Paul Skenes.
Or we just leave all of them to Sarah.
Yeah. How
is she ever going to top that one, though?
I don't know. She said she had something cooking up for next Friday or this Friday. So I don't know. The first one, absolute home run, out of the park swing. I cannot wait for the end of Friday's show. That is now a new tradition here on 100.9 The Mitt. Sarah's Take of the Week. But that's for Friday. Again, we still got a lot to get to. The Michigan sanctions things that happened over the last few days. There's some small updates on that. And, of course, we got to do our Monday morning stock exchange. We'll do a fun around the league coming up. I want to do a redraft on a draft class from a few years back. And then I have a question about a league and a team that I'm not sure anyone actually cares about, but I brought that up on Twitter, and people got mad at me. Not as mad as they got at Sarah for that take. It's the Ben Bosscher Show, hour number 2 coming up right here on the 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
Detours driving you bonkers? Ideal Party Store's got your back with a Detour discount. While the Lafayette Bridge is closed, enjoy 10% off select craft beer 6-packs and 10% off 4 bottles of select wine, 750 milliliters or more, with 2 great locations, 908 North Johnson on the east side and 401 Salzburg on the west side. Ideal Party Store makes every detour worth it. Serving Bay City since 1934, we're here to make you the life of the party.
Experience world-class golf and family fun at the Dow Championship. Returning to Midland Country Club June 23rd to the 29th. Come and see top LPGA professionals compete in the only team-based event on the tour. Explore interactive fan experiences, family-friendly activities, and delicious local food vendors. Plus, veterans and children under 17 get in free. Don't miss out. Visit DowChampionship.com today for more information.
Another episode takes over Dow Diamond. Star Wars Night with the Great Lakes Loons returns Saturday, June 14th. Immerse yourself in the echoes of the Empire saga throughout the game, culminating with an epic fireworks loontacular presented by Farm Bureau Insurance. Tickets are selling fast. Visit loons.com before they're gone.
Thank the maker.
This isn't just baseball. This is the Great Lakes Loons, everyone's hometown team. Local sports don't stop when the game ends, and neither do we. 100.9 The Mitt is your digital home for the latest news across the state of Michigan. From high school to college and the pros, it's all on our socials. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Just search 100.9 The Mitt and join the squad. Stay locked in on the latest stats and stories with exclusive video takes from local talent. Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt.
Health concerns in high school sports go beyond physical injuries. The mental well-being of our young people is a hotter topic than ever before. The Michigan High School Athletic Association website has resources to help adults and students recognize potential problems and deal with them in a positive way. You can learn more about these mental health resources on the Health and Safety page of the MHSAA website. A message from the MHSAA promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Hey, I'm Ben Bosscher.
And I'm Kyle Sandel.
And the two of us are live every weekday on 100.9 The Mitt at 9 a.m. until noon, giving you opinions on the teams that you care about the most.
The Lions, Tigers, Red Wings, Pistons, those teams.
And a whole lot more. Whether we're breaking down a game from the night before, debating the biggest news from the day, or doing a draft or spread picks, we're always having fun. I mean, come on, it's our job to talk about sports. How could we not be having fun?
So if the big games aren't enough for you, if you're a real diehard fan, this show is going to be perfect for you. You can count on us to be your morning sports outlet every day.
The Ben Bosscher Show with Ben Bosscher and Kyle Sandel on 100.9 The Mitt.
From the Blazy Electric Studios, this is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. WLUN, Pinconning, Bay City, Saginaw, Midland.
Welcome back in 100.9 The Mitt, live on YouTube, live on Facebook, live in the Great Lakes Bay region on 100.9 The Mitt FM. The Ben Bosscher Show, week number 2, day 1. Right here. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you are tuning in, go ahead and hit that like button on YouTube. Goes a long way, especially here in the beginning stages of the show. We've got big plans for it. I cannot wait to see this kind of play out over the next 6 months. So if you're listening or watching on YouTube or anywhere right now, we appreciate you because you're here for the beginning of the journey, and this is going to be quite the journey. All right, Monday tradition here on the Ben Bosscher Show. It is the Monday morning stock exchange.
You know what? I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving!
The stock market.
All right, Kyle, we're buying, we're selling stocks here on a Monday. I'll kick things off. I would like to start by buying some stock. I would like to buy some Michigan Panther stock, okay?
Wow.
This is a 1-week trade. I'd like to make this very clear. I plan on selling all of my stock next Monday when we do this exact same segment. But the Michigan Panthers, UFL team, they find themselves in the UFL championship that's taking place this Saturday. And all of a sudden last night, I don't know when they played, whether it was Sunday or Saturday, they end up beating Birmingham to make it to the championship round. All of a sudden, I'm seeing all this stuff on Twitter, and I realized to myself, I've quite literally never watched a snap. I don't know one player on this team. I don't know a soul who's a fan of the Michigan Panthers. Yet I started seeing all their stuff. So I threw out a tweet that was like, I don't know one person that watches UFL football. And I got a ton of backlash from it. Like, hey, here I am. Like, but I don't know if I've ever met any of these people in person. And then someone told me to go outside and start meeting people. I was like, not a bad point.
You got a lot of replies on that tweet.
I know. I was surprised. It was kind of a throwaway tweet, but those are always the ones that end up doing well. I'd like to buy some stock. Hopefully they win their UFL championship. I think that's what it's called, on Saturday, and I can just cash out, never have to think about it again, profit. And if they lose, maybe still profit just a tiny bit, but not as much as obviously if they won. So I'm buying some Michigan Panther stock with the idea of basically day trading it, or in this case, week trading it.
I would love to know how many people knew that the UFL championship was this weekend.
Not me. Right. I had no idea.
I also didn't. I will say, though,
it wasn't the championship. It's next week.
Oh, okay.
They won.
When I go to my
the
parents'
league
house on like
something.
a weekend, random time on like a Saturday, my dad will have it on the TV.
Really?
But I don't think he's like locked into it. It's just like to throw something on, you know?
I've definitely seen more
I've seen it a couple
commercials for
times.
it than I have actually watched it. The commercials are nonstop. Oh my God.
Is Bryce Perkins the Panthers QB? No, he's just a QB in there.
I wrote it
saw
down.
a clip of him the other day.
Bryce Perkins is, yes, the Michigan Panthers
He is the
quarterback.
Panthers QB?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
He's an MVP candidate.
Former NFL quarterback, too.
That's right.
NFL backup quarterback, but okay, I like that buy. I'm going to buy some stock, and I don't know if this is more of a buy of this or a sell of its competitor, but I'm going to buy some NBC and Amazon NBA broadcast stock for next season. Because the ESPN Finals broadcast has just been awful. And everyone knows this. It's been, I mean, like, this is an obvious take, maybe a boring take because everyone agrees with it. But, man, it's just been so bad. It does not have the same vibe to it. Doris Burke and Richard Jefferson as the two analysts just don't bring it like previous ESPN analysts had. Even Mike Breen a little bit seems like not the OG Mike Breen. And then obviously last night, putting in the little small trophy at mid-court, just like a big punch in the face.
And then removing it like 5 minutes later.
Yeah, because everyone was crapping on it, yeah. Just the finals doesn't have the same feel as the ESPN broadcast, and I'm excited for NBC. And I know they're going to have the finals next year too, but I'm just excited for NBC and Amazon to bring some fresh analysts and just a different perspective of a broadcast to the NBA.
I'll see that and bounce an idea off of you. I'm selling my Mike Breen stock.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
Absolute legend. But don't
tell it to John Vicari.
Do not let the fans pressure you into banging. You don't have to bang. Everyone was mad that Tyrese Halliburton didn't get a bang call for his game winner, and then he gives Tyrese Halliburton a bang call in the first quarter of last night's game, and then openly is like, I owed him one. No. You do you. Do not overdo the bang. They're reserved for very special moments, and I'm not saying Tyrese Halliburton's moment in game one wasn't special, but don't let the fans bully you into doing it more often than you want to. I'm just going to say it. Tyrese Halliburton, superstar in the league, not an all-time superstar. If Mike Breen didn't think it was bang-worthy, then it wasn't bang-worthy, okay? You don't have to listen to the fans on that one. You do your job. Stay off Twitter, man. Don't read the comments. It can't go right. There's nothing that you can benefit from it. So
the bang is just something that happens in the moment, right? You don't think about when you're gonna bang.
But then he started thinking about it.
This is just getting hilarious.
What else would you be talking about?
No, it's just, I mean, imagine someone listened to this that did not understand what we were talking about.
I don't know what else you would even be talking about. Mike Breen does bang calls.
All right. So is that your sell?
That is one of my sells, yeah.
All right. I'm moving on to a sell. I'm selling no net basketball hoops. I talked to you about this weekend, but hooping on a court with no net or a rim with no net is worst case scenario playing basketball. It's worse than a double rim. It's worse than a crappy basketball. Having no net when you play hoops is actually terrible.
Does this mean you had stock on it originally? Because I don't know if anyone had ever bought stock on no net rims.
But it's more so just saying it's the worst version of playing basketball.
I can get behind that.
That's why I'm selling it.
Yeah.
Because it's awful. You can't even tell when you make it. You do make it, and it bounces way off the court because the net doesn't help it, like, stop. It's just bad. It's a bad product.
I'm buying stock on sunscreen. And I think we have a photo of this launched up. I told you guys I went to the beach this weekend. One of the worst sunburns I've gotten. Here's the problem. I pulled up to the beach, Bay City State Park, first time I'd ever been there. And it wasn't that hot.
Oh my God, it's so bad.
It wasn't that bad of a UV.
You're watching on YouTube.
Is it up on the graphic now?
Yes.
So it wasn't that hot. It was like 70 when we showed up. The UV was only like 4. And I was like, well, fine, I'll ease into it. I was only there for like 2.5 hours. And suddenly I couldn't move last night. I had to overdose on melatonin basically to fall asleep because I was in so much pain just sitting there laying in bed. My back hurt, my chest. Oh my God. It's so bad. It's so bad.
I need to get this off the screen, dude.
You can get it off the screen. I just wanted to share how bad it was because I'm buying my sunscreen stock. That was the worst decision I've ever made. And somehow I make this mistake like 2 to 3 times a year and will not learn from my mistakes. Hopefully now that I've shown this to the public and we put it up on the YouTube thing, I will now be reminded, do not let this happen again.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I've never really been a big sunscreen person. Like, not intentionally. I just kind of forget about it. But then something like that happens every summer, and it makes you rethink everything.
Buying sunscreen stock. You know what else I'm buying stock in? Chet Holmgren, man. It was a tough first game for him, kind of uninvolved really in that Oklahoma City. He was so good last night. And unlike the Michigan Panthers thing where I'm like, hey, I'm going to buy some stock and then knowing I'm going to sell it next week, hopefully the Panthers win on Saturday and all of a sudden I profited from it. This Chet thing is a long-term buy. Like, I want to hold this stock for years and years and years and see what it looks like in 2030. Look, I think when Wemby came into the league, all of a sudden we started viewing Chet a lot differently. And I feel like if Wemby were to have never entered the NBA, we're talking about Chet Holmgren as something more like a unicorn, something more special. We're talking about him in a lot different idea and what he can be and how, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think Wemby kind of ruined Chet a little bit here. And if it wasn't for that, all of a sudden I think everyone's like, Chet, future of the league, this unicorn, this alien. He is the next wave of big men, this versatile guy who can stretch the floor, protect the paint, and do anything, has the dribble. I just think the world of this guy. He's not Wemby. He's like, I don't know, the B- version of Wemby, but that's more so telling of how I think of Wemby than it is how I think of Chet. I'm buying stock in him long term, being part of this Thunder team. I don't think this is the last time we see him in the finals, and he's only going to get better from here.
That's fair, but I feel like a lot of people do view Chet in a positive. Like, remember the Chet Wemby stuff last year? Obviously, it was because of them both being rookies, but people do view them in the same light as far as being like the next generation of bigs. So, but I like the buy for sure. He looked really, really good last night. I have a sell. I'll zag. I'm selling stock on my 7-iron, dude.
Okay.
It used to be my go-to iron. Like when I was, in a decent amount of range for my approach shot. It was my favorite one, the one I felt most comfortable with. But man, these last couple times I've gone out, just has been my worst club. I've pivoted to the 8-iron more often. So my 7-iron, man, I'm selling stock on it because it has just been brutal.
That's my number 1 iron. Like, if I'm hitting something and I'm in doubt, 7-iron it out for sure.
I used to be the same way.
I'm selling my Steelers stock.
Ooh,
after Aaron Rodgers signed with them.
Stock.
I mean, Steelers stock's not a bad thing to just have a small share of. You just kind of have it. You don't
Good
really
point.
have to monitor it.
It gets you a little bit of money guaranteed every year.
Yeah, and you don't really have to worry about it too often.
It's not a risky stock.
But I was thinking about it last night, and I think when it comes to the AFC, you have the Chiefs, Ravens, and Bills in Tier 1. You have the Texans, Bengals, Chargers, Broncos in Tier 2. You have the Patriots, Jaguars, Dolphins, Steelers, Raiders in Tier 3, and then Tier 4, Colts, Titans, Tier 5, tier to themselves, the Browns. I think this is the year that Pittsburgh doesn't make the playoffs and goes below 500. I think you bring in Aaron Rodgers and you're asking yourself for disaster to happen.
Oh, it'd be the perfect year for it to happen.
I think this is the year. I don't know what Pittsburgh thinks they're getting in Aaron Rodgers, but I watched Jets games last year. He was bad. He was not one of the 20 best quarterbacks in the league. He'd be lucky to call himself one of the 25 best quarterbacks in the league. He can't move. He doesn't want to get hit, which is hindering his entire play style. I don't think this is the year for the Steelers. I think it falls apart a lot quicker than it comes together. And you look around the league, especially the AFC, there's so many good teams out there. I'm selling all my Pittsburgh stock. They're done. Their 500 or better streak is over.
I love this one. This is your best buy of the day. Because it would be poetic justice for Aaron Rodgers to be the reason why this Steelers run ends. Okay, I got one more. I was thinking maybe to buy some Matt Vierling stock because, like, I think he might be coming back sooner than Tigers fans think. But I'll skip that one. I'm going to buy some stock on Scottie Scheffler completing the Grand Slam this year. U.S. Open this weekend. Scottie Scheffler is a minus 280 favorite to win the whole thing. That's ridiculous. Anything under a plus 500 to win a tournament is like pretty heavily favored. He's plus 280. It's just ridiculous. So I'm going to buy some Scottie Scheffler completing it this year.
Kyle, certified golf expert here at the Mitt. All right, I've got one more.
Like that.
I'm selling my Rafael Devers stock. You see the clip of him yesterday? He hits a ground ball to the second baseman, puts a good effort in to try to get to first base, like totally could at least made a play at first base to try to beat this throw out. Puts in a good effort for like 45 feet and then just starts coasting. He's like, I'm not going to get there. You will never catch anyone on the Tigers coasting into first base and essentially giving up on the play. And he goes to the dugout and the manager's like, hey, are you good? Like everyone thought he was hurt. It was that egregious of a just stop trying. Someone thought he pulled his hamstring. And then when he's like, no, I'm fine. I just wasn't making that play. You see the manager like, what the hell? Like first you went switch positions, even though we needed some, we needed someone to help fill some gaps on this team while players are injured. He was like, no, I'm not doing that. And now he's just like out here not trying, like straight up just not trying, giving up on plays in the middle of baseball games. If I'm a Red Sox fan, and I don't really know any Red Sox fans, I'm livid with this dude. This is how Tigers fans...
They've been livid with this dude.
I know. This is how Tigers fans felt about Javi like a year and a half ago, where he was legitimately the worst hitter in baseball, where he was getting tagged out because he didn't realize how many outs there were. That's the level of checked outness that Rafael Devers seems right now for Boston. I would be livid if I was a Boston fan with this guy.
Yeah, I think most people sold their Rafi Devers stock when he said he wasn't going to move to first base. So, yeah.
You got any more?
A quick one. I'm selling my stock on UFC Saturday nights. I love watching the UFC, man.
This is good.
My God, this was on so freaking late. I was watching this Saturday night. It was a big card, Merab versus O'Malley. But the final fight didn't start till like 12:45, 1 a.m.
Here's the problem right now.
It's on way too late, man.
It's on way too late, and the bigger issue is the fact that O'Malley lost. The UFC is struggling right now to have a marketable star because it was Adesanya.
Struggling.
It was Adesanya as their face of the company. He fell off a cliff hard. He lost one fight and was never the same after that.
Right.
Then it was Pereira. They were selling him as the apex predator, a guy that is on par with like a peak John Jones. Maybe nobody's on par with peak John Jones, but it felt like Pereira was like untouchable for a while. He comes out, loses his most recent fight, and all of a sudden the UFC's looking around like, who's our guy? And they were hoping O'Malley could reclaim the title last night.
The bounce back for O'Malley, the rematch. He's healthy, and it went worse than the
changed
first
his
time.
style. Yeah. He got obliterated last night. Look at all the champs. None of them are sellable stars right now. None of them are face of the league guy. Yeah, but he hasn't fought in 2 years. I love John Jones, but he doesn't have an opponent to fight that is going to. I mean,
very good point.
It's John Jones. He'll draw, but he doesn't have an opponent to fight that's a blockbuster match or fight. That's the problem with UFC right now. 989-837-6125. That is the stock market exchange. We'll get some more texts, and we'll do Around the League coming up next year on the Ben Bosscher Show, 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
fueled by wonder, and powered by science. At Dow, we're imagining better things for our customers and communities. It starts with our commitment to reach carbon neutrality by 2050, designing, building, and inspiring for the world around us. Because when we wonder, the things our world needs could be just one breakthrough away. That's Dow.
Celebrate Father's Day at Dow Diamond Sunday, June 15th. It starts with the Play Ball Weekend Kids Clinic presented by Central Michigan University. Make sure they're pre-registered at loons.com. After the game, step on the field for a special Father's Day catch, a memory that will last a lifetime. There's something for the whole family this Father's Day. This isn't just baseball. This is the Great Lakes Loons, everyone's hometown team.
I'm Ben Bosscher, and here's what I think. I think replay should be taken out of basketball entirely. I think 2 super conferences would fix college football. I think the best football, basketball, and baseball players of all time are currently playing. I think the day the Lions win the Super Bowl is going to be the greatest day of my life. I think Monty Williams sabotaged the Pistons on purpose, and you can't convince me otherwise. I think Jim Harbaugh is one of the best coaches of all time, but most definitely cheated, got caught, and ran away. And I think you should tune into the Ben Bosscher Show, fueled by Forward Energy, weekdays 9 to noon on 100.9 The Mitt if you agree with anything I just said.
You want sports takes? You want local voices that own the mic? Yeah. We've got it on Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. It kicks off at 6 a.m. with Anthony Bellino on Spin on Sports.
Rise and shine.
From 9 to noon, don't miss Michigan's newest sports show, The Ben Bosscher Show.
Hey, remember that.
At noon, you get America's smartest sports takes, The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
I want Shador to play.
And at 3, the one and only Bill Simonson and The Huge Show. This is where real fans stay locked in. 100.9 The Mitt.
Have you noticed bad behavior has become normalized at interscholastic athletic events? Some fans seem angry. They lack civility toward one another. Some even get aggressive and unruly. Time out! What is going on? This has to stop. Let's not forget, school sports aren't just about winning. And they're definitely not an excuse to take your frustrations out on the official or the opponent. They're about teaching lessons like perseverance, respect, and empathy, so students can learn and grow as people, not just as players. We all have a role to play in setting a good example for our students and teaching them these important values. So fans, it's time to step up your game and behave positively at interscholastic athletic events in Michigan.
This message presented by the MHSAA and the Michigan Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
Welcome back into the Ben Bosscher Show live on 100.9 The Mitt, live on YouTube and Facebook as well. Go ahead, give us a subscribe, hit that notification button to know when we go live every day at 9 a.m., and give us a like on the stream. All right, let's take a trip around the league.
It's time to zoom out and go around the league.
All right, I was scheming something up yesterday, Kyle, and I started to think about that initial Brad Holmes draft class, the 2021 draft class. You get Penei Sewell in the building, really start things out the right way. And then I started to think about some of the other first-round picks, and I was like, you know what would be fun for an Around the League segment? A little redraft. So I have a big board, and I thought we could go through this draft class and just redo every pick, because all these quarterbacks at the top, I don't know if any of them get taken.
I mean, the one gets taken for sure, but
at some point, I don't think
the amount
of
quarterbacks that got taken early in this draft: Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, Mac Jones even goes in the middle of the first round. Like 5 quarterbacks in the first round, and 4 of the 5. Is Fields a bust? He's still a starter. I don't know if he counts.
I don't think he's a hit.
Obvious. Yes, exactly.
He's on his 3rd team.
Right.
Okay, you want to start things out, or you want me to start things out with the Jaguars? I figured we'd go back and forth.
I will let you start things off, because I think this is actually a really tricky first pick based on value, because I think draft value still comes into play here in a redraft.
I am taking Jamar Chase here with the first pick.
Wow, really?
I think he's the best player on the board. Jamar Chase ends up being a Jaguar rather than Trevor Lawrence. Who knows who their quarterback is at that point, but I think, hey, you bring in the most talented player in this draft class, not a bad way to go.
I didn't think you were going to go there. I thought it was going to be between two guys that weren't Jamar Chase. Here's what I'll say about Trevor Lawrence, though. He still is a borderline, however you feel about him, he's a borderline top 10 quarterback in the NFL. You can guarantee that in a redraft that has no other good quarterbacks. I think he still has a pretty good case to go like maybe 1 or 2.
You taking him 2 right here?
But I'm going to take Penei Sewell after
all
that being said.
Okay.
I mean, it's the best offensive lineman in the game. Like, number 1 in a very valuable position. Penei Sewell, likely would have went number 1 in the next draft. So it's...
Or this year's draft.
Right, exactly. So it's for the value of the position, guaranteed best offensive lineman in football, I think Sewell goes 2.
Probably ends up playing left tackle for the Jets, too. All right, so Jamar Chase first, Penei Sewell second. San Fran had the 3rd pick. They took Trey Lance. I once again will not be taking Trevor Lawrence. Give me Micah Parsons.
Yeah, that's who I thought you were going to debate being 1 and 2.
That's Micah who I thought you were about to take.
Penei.
You could argue him falling to 3 was crazy.
I think Jamar should have fallen to 3.
I don't know. I think having one of those pass catchers, one of those elite guys, every team's looking for someone like that. It feels like it's pretty hard to go on a postseason run without one of those guys right now. And you need one. You need a great offensive line too, but I think Jamar Chase is the best player in this draft class. You can make the argument for Sewell for sure, but position.
Would you have taken Micah over Sewell?
Yes, just because of positional value.
Yeah, I mean edge is probably the 3rd most valuable position, 2nd.
Second.
Quarterback is in its own tier, and then I do think edge, receiver, and tackle are like in the same boat.
I can get on board with that. Yeah. You need an edge, like a superstar edge can change your entire defense.
For sure. Absolutely. And maybe you could argue with the other good tackles in this class that Penei falls a little bit.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, 4th pick. This is where Trevor Lawrence goes. Like I said, I do think you could still pick Lawrence first, honestly.
You don't want Atlanta to have Kyle Pitts again?
Oh, that's like a really good point, yeah. But still, Lawrence is a guaranteed top half quarterback in the league at worst. You're going to take that every day of the week.
I should have bought some Trevor Lawrence stock in our last segment. I like Trevor Lawrence. I think he's been set up to fail multiple times with their coaching schemes and Urban Meyer and Doug Peterson, who's just outdated as a coach. He finally has an elite play caller. I think we see Trevor Lawrence take a big step up this season. Duval, that's right. The Bengals on the clock. They end up taking...
Can't get Jamar.
Yep, they end up taking Jamar Chase. I'll go with the other superstar receiver, Amon-Ra St. Brown. 4th round pick off the board at number 5 if we do a redraft.
I disagree.
All right, then let's see what you would have done with pick number 6, going to Miami.
I'll be to Miami, yes. Originally took Jalen Waddle. Waddle's not bad. He's definitely not a top... he might be top 10 still. I guess I really don't know. But he's not here at 6.
No.
I'm taking the reigning defensive player of the year, Pat Surtain.
Okay.
I think he goes... I mean, corner is probably less valuable than receiver, but we see corners get picked this high all the time. You get a guaranteed depoy. I love Amon-Ra and everything, but I'm taking Surtain here.
All right, and now the Lions are up. So obviously they end up taking Sewell. No way he's available. I could end up going Slater, and that's kind of how the Lions kick off the jump start under Brad Holmes. But again, they took Amon-Ra St. Brown with the pick later on. He's also gone. I think I'm going to take someone else besides an offensive lineman. I think I'm going to take someone who I think is probably the most underrated receiver in the league at this point. He was No. I could take Devontae. I could take Waddle. But there's a receiver that got taken much later on out of the University of Michigan, who I think is legitimately one of the 6 to 7 best wide receivers in the NFL right now. Just is not always on the field, and that would be Nico Collins. There's nothing he can't do. That's the thing I like about him. Big frame, down the field threat, has the speed, has the yak. One of the best receivers in the short game too. Gets himself open. Just the complete package just isn't talked about in the way that like a CeeDee Lamb or Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson is, because he doesn't get fed the ball as much as those guys. I think maybe not on par with all 3 of those guys, but
definitely not
not far behind CeeDee Lamb to me.
I mean, he also has only really had one big year. This was like his breakout year this past season. I'm not saying he's bad. I think he's very good.
Do you think he's better than Devontae Smith and Jalen Waddle? Because I don't even think that's a conversation.
I think that Devontae Smith is in the conversation, right? I mean, think about if he's the number one guy. He's had A.J. Brown as his partner his whole career.
I'm taking Nico Collins. And that's who the Lions build it around rather than...
High
rather
pick
than
for Nico
Amon-Ra.
Collins. I'm going to pivot from Slater here with the 8th pick. This is Carolina. Originally took J.C. Horn, who's been pretty good in his time. I'm not going to take Slater. I'm going to take the tackle I think is better, who will be returning for Minnesota this upcoming season. Christian Darrisaw is who I will take 8th overall, which is crazy that this class has turned out 3 like all-pro caliber tackles already.
This might be the best draft class of the 20s.
Draft class. Without any really good quarterbacks. That's the funny part.
Yeah. I don't know. Do I take Mac Jones here? With the 9th pick, Denver. Obviously takes Pat Surtain in the original draft, but he's no longer on the table. Is this 9? Yeah.
This is 9.
I feel like I got to take Slater here.
Yeah.
I feel like the drop-off between him and the next tackle is pretty large. I'm taking Rashawn Slater here.
And he's definitely worth a top 10 pick. Like, he's been that good in his time.
Yeah, he went 13th, and he was definitely worth that pick for the Chargers. So
Right. All right, with the 10th pick, this is where it gets a little weird. Obviously, Devontae Smith originally goes, which they traded up in that spot, which is kind of funny, ahead of the Cowboys. I think there's some good players here, but the positional value is kind of weird. Like a Creed Humphrey, Landon Dickerson, both really good players, but they're interior offensive line guys, which makes it tricky. Ali McNeil is here.
I was just about to say.
Hufanga, who was pretty good safety for the Niners for a couple years now in Denver, I believe.
Nick Bolton's here.
Bolton, yes. J.C. Horn, who we just talked about. But I sneaky think I'm going to keep it how it is. I'm going to do the only same pick here. I think they would just stick and pick Devontae Smith.
Wow. Okay.
So that's all I'll take.
It's the only pick that ended up being the exact same.
Yes.
All right. I feel like we can end it there. Who would have went 11, just out of curiosity, if we were both on the board, co-GMs, taking someone for the Bears here?
The Bears traded up originally to get a quarterback. So maybe they just take Fields still, but...
No way, right?
I really don't know.
Knowing how all these guys' careers play out.
Trey Smith, another good interior offensive lineman in this class as well.
Who did they trade up here with? New York? Yeah. I feel like if I'm New York or Chicago in this situation, just, like, I don't know, take McNeil.
Yeah, I think
just
Liam has
bulk
a
up
case.
your line.
For sure.
I mean, he was going to have an
better
all-pro season.
positional value than a guard or center, so.
When in doubt, bulk up. Get better. It doesn't always have to be a sexy pick. Sometimes you just need...
Jamar won, man, really.
I'm curious. I'll post this on Twitter and see what other people think about it. I'll go to the comments too. But first, let's take a quick break and we can get to the YouTube comments here in just a second. But before we do any of that, I got to tell you about my friends at Higher Standard Automotive. The name says it all. Honest, reliable auto repair done right the first time. Locally owned and operated, serving Midland with expert service and small town integrity. From oil changes to brake jobs to diagnostics and major repairs, they handle it all with precision and care. ASE certified techs, fair pricing, and commitment to doing things the right way, because your car deserves better than good enough. Drive with confidence. Choose Higher Standard Automotive. Hey, got a problem with your car? Take it to them. They'll take care of everything. All right, we'll get to some text when we come back. And of course, we still got to get to the Michigan thing eventually. I'm going to be honest with you. I despise talking about it. I want it to be over. We'll get to that eventually. But I want to also know if anyone actually cares about a championship game happening this weekend. Stay tuned. 100.9 The Mitt, Ben Bosscher Show.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
At Aird & Garcia Insurance Group, they understand not everyone's insurance needs are the same. That's why they're dedicated to working with our clients to provide an insurance plan that's specific to you.
Whether you need life, home, auto, business, and farm, with their team's extensive knowledge and over 100 years combined experience, you can guarantee they work hard to put you in the best insurance position.
The experience matters. Aird & Garcia Insurance Group, Farm Bureau Insurance.
Tired of floors that snore? Walls that whisper, nah. Premier Tile in Midland is here to spice things up one tile at a time. They've got backsplash that'll make your pasta jealous.
What?
Shower walls that'll actually sing in the morning. And floors so fabulous, you'll consider eating dinner off them. Stylish, affordable, slightly obsessed with grout. Visit Premier Tile, located between Stark and Sturgeon, right off US 10, or at PremierTileStone.com.
Since 2007, the Michigan Baseball Foundation has invested over $1.8 million into our communities, supporting over 350 projects across 14 Michigan counties. From restoring Alma Little League fields to creating nature-based classrooms at the Chippewa Nature Center and enhancing accessibility at the middle of the Mitt Miracle Field, MBF is making a real difference. Every ticket to a Great Lakes Loons game helps fund these initiatives. Join us in building a stronger, more vibrant community. Learn more at MichiganBaseballFoundation.org.
You want sports takes? You want local voices that own the mic?
Yeah.
We've got it. On Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. It kicks off at 6 a.m. with Anthony Bellino on Spin on Sports.
Rise and shine.
From 9 to noon, don't miss Michigan's newest sports show, The Ben Bosscher Show.
Hey, remember that.
At noon, you get America's smartest sports takes, The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
I want Shador to play.
And at 3, the one and only Bill Simonson and The Huge Show. This is where real fans stay locked in. 100.9 The Mitt. From the hometown heroes to the college legends to the pros on Sunday, 100.9 The Mitt is your home for wall-to-wall play-by-play coverage. High school football, basketball, and hockey.
Region champions for the first time in school history.
Michigan State football and basketball.
Touchdown, MSU!
The NFL, Thursday, Sunday, and Monday night primetime games. And don't think we forgot about your hometown team. The Great Lakes Loons.
That ball's over and out of here.
100.9 The Mitt. Local sports don't stop when the game ends, and neither do we. 100.9 The Mitt is your digital home for the latest news across the state of Michigan. From high school to college and the pros, it's all on our socials. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Just search 100.9 The Mitt and join the squad. Stay locked in on the latest stats and stories with exclusive video takes from local talent. Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt.
When it comes to a gun suicide attempt, all it takes is a moment.
Heather and I had an argument just like any other couple. I was lost. I had snapped. I had a gun and I was going to take my own life. Heather helped me realize that there was still a life to live for the better of myself, my family. My weapon is now safely put away.
A moment of crisis can happen to anyone. Store your guns, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo. Hear more safe stories at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
Welcome back into Ben Bosscher Show right here on 100.9 The Mitt. Look, guys, if I'm going to be honest with you, I have never once even considered watching a Michigan Panthers game. But yesterday, my Twitter feed is blown up by UFL content. The Michigan Panthers have advanced to the championship round, where coming up on Saturday, ABC, nationally televised, the Panthers will take on the Defenders for a UFL title. I am curious whether or not there is a single person out there listening that watches this stuff. I'm not going to lie. I don't know one person. And I watch a lot of sports. I'll watch basketball. I'll watch baseball. I'll watch football. I'll watch WNBA. I'll watch professional wrestling. I'll watch UFC. I'll watch it all. It's never crossed my mind to watch this. And I don't know a single other person that is a fan of the Michigan Panthers. I'm not saying they don't exist. I've just personally never met one. And to be honest, I don't have a desire to watch it. At least I haven't until the last 24 hours. Look, I couldn't tell you one player on this team. I have not watched a snap. But that doesn't mean I am the way everyone is thinking. I'm curious if there's anyone out there that is watching this team and following them, because I'm somewhat convinced it's not. The problem with the UFL for me is it is not a developmental league the way that a college football is. There's no pageantry. There's no traditions. This is all new, and it's professional football, just not to the level of the NFL, so why would I ever watch it? It's the same way WWE is to the NFL as AEW is to the UFL. It's just kind of over there. I don't really have any desire to watch it. Maybe, just maybe, if something crazy, totally insane 10 out of 10 is happening, like a MJF fight, MJF match, it's going up against Moxley, maybe I tune in. And maybe the Michigan Panthers making it to the title game might actually be that crazy. So I started to dive into it just a little bit yesterday. Hey, who's the quarterback? Bryce Perkins. Like Kyle said, former NFL quarterback, MVP candidate in the UFL this season. Michigan's playing the DC Defenders this Saturday in the championship. Their quarterback, Jordan Tomov, something like that, also an MVP candidate. It turns out they don't do PATs in this league. I think I might actually turn it on if I'm not doing anything on Saturday. For the first time, I have somewhat of interest in it. And with that being said, I'll probably turn it on and end up getting bored and finding something else. I'm just curious for anyone listening, if there's a single person out there that pays attention to this stuff, because I have not. I really haven't. But you guys can respond in the YouTube chat and text us at 989-837-6125. I'm just curious if there's anyone out there that cares at all about the Michigan Panthers. Because to be honest,
I will say you've been talking about getting your football itch in. I mean, this is a prime time spot to do it, right?
I would rather watch an old NFL game than watch
that you know the
UFL.
outcome of.
Sometimes you forget, you know. Like if it's a random like Thursday night game, I might have forgotten the outcome of it. But I don't know. It's just like a weird brand of football. The stadiums aren't packed at these UFL games. It feels weird in there. But I mean, I posted on Twitter yesterday, hey, is anybody watching this? And I got a lot of feedback. I was like, yes, we are. People are paying attention to this. So I wanted to ask the people of the Great Lakes Bay region the same question. You said you've never watched it, right?
No, I have watched it. But I'm not a watcher of it by any means. But I've watched it, yes.
It doesn't feel like real football to me.
Why is that?
It feels like somewhat of a joke. The stands are mostly empty in arenas that are or stadiums that are supposed to fit 70,000. I don't know, there's 5,000, 10,000 in the building. There's no PATs, which is kind of freaking me out a little bit. The level of play just isn't very good. But I don't know, maybe there's people out there listening that are passionate about this. We've got Aaron in the YouTube saying, I went to a game versus DC this year. The games are so much fun. Give it a watch. That's all I ask. I guess what's the selling point for this, though, other than, hey, chance to bring home a title?
It's football on in non-football season. That's the selling point.
Chance to bring home. Could you imagine the Michigan Panthers bring home a trophy before the Lions do?
Definitely could happen.
I don't know. That doesn't seem right. Is that something that you'd celebrate? Are you all of a sudden buying Michigan Panthers merch? Jumping on the bandwagon? That's my question, everyone. Are you jumping on the bandwagon?
Yeah, are you a bandwagon for like tuning in and rooting for them this weekend?
I guess you kind of have to be, right?
But it's your hometown team.
It's the hometown team. I didn't realize there's only 8 teams in the league and 4 of them make the playoffs and there's only 2 playoff rounds.
Right.
Started to look into that a little bit yesterday, and the Panthers didn't even win their like USFL division or whatever, USFL, XFL. But hey, I mean, I don't know. Maybe people don't care about it. Maybe people do. I was just
This should
curious.
just be viewed as like a G League of the NFL.
Yeah, but it's that would be college football. That's the developmental league here. This is like totally separate. I don't really care what's going on, but hey,
hey, we got
the
Jake
local
Bates.
team. That's right. Good point. If the local team's playing for a title, maybe it's worth checking out for a few minutes on Saturday here at 8:00. But again, I mean, we'll be busy here at the stadium, so I say all that to say I'm probably not watching a second of this, but go Panthers, I guess.
But like, how's it not different than a G League with the NBA? Because there's still college basketball. That's the developmental league of basketball, even though those teams are affiliated with the NBA teams.
I guess. Yeah, but that's the problem. That's an affiliation. The USFL or UFL has no affiliation with any of this stuff. They're just off doing their own thing, and I don't know, if 5 players get signed from UFL teams to NFL teams, that'd be like an accomplishment, I feel like. And if 3 of them made the roster, it'd be like celebrated. Like Jake Bates is the anomaly here, right? This doesn't usually happen. It never happens. There's, at least in the G League, it's like, hey, we're developing our guys down here. This isn't this isn't that at all. Like, most of the guys playing in here are never going to get a shot because, quite frankly, they probably weren't good enough at the beginning. Or they've already had their shot and just want to keep playing football in a different league.
Hey, it's football and non-football season. For people that truly love watching ball, it's built for them.
I guess that's not me. All right, who is the best Tiger offensive player right now? Because I feel like you could have a few different answers here between the three superstars and Kerry Bonds and Riley Green and Spencer Torkelson, all of them having tremendous seasons. But if there was one at bat with the game on the line, bases loaded, 2 outs, bottom of the 9th inning, you're down 1 run, World Series, Game 7, who do you want in the box? 989-837-6125. We'll get to that here in a second. It's the Ben Bosscher Show on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
It's time to remember that. With Kyle Sandell.
Presented by Matt Larson, Farm Bureau agent located downtown Midland. MLB All-Star voting got underway yesterday, and the Tigers are in a spot where they're going to have several All-Stars this season. There's some obvious ones. Tarek Skubal will for sure be an All-Star once again. Riley Green will likely make back-to-back All-Star appearances. But then there's a few other guys that you would think might have a chance to be starters or get voted in as reserves. Names like Will Vest come to mind. Gleyber Torres has a pretty good shot at second base. But the guy that I'm vouching for to be the starter at his position in the American League in the All-Star game is none other than Spencer Torkelson. Now, you look at the initial numbers and you think, no way Spencer Torkelson makes it over the Vlad Guerreros or Paul Goldschmidts in the American League. Just a .230 batting average right now for Torque. But he leads all the American League first basemen in home runs with 14, and he's hit at the heart of an order of a Tigers team that has been the best in Major League Baseball this season. Third best OPS in the American League right now, better than Vlad Guerrero. And being the prime right-handed bat on the best team in Major League Baseball, leading that team in homers with 14, while bouncing back from the type of criticism and season he had a year ago. I know all that storyline stuff doesn't go into it, but Spencer Torkelson has a really good chance to make his first All-Star game this season, and I believe he should be the starter in the American League at first base. Remember that. Presented by Matt Larson, Farm Bureau agent, located downtown Midland.
I'm Sarah Stockford, host of 100.9 The Mitt's Success Suite, a podcast highlighting the most inspiring female leaders across the Great Lakes Bay region. This month, we spoke with Lisa Tarkington, Executive Director of LEAD, formerly known as Self-Love Beauty.
The year 2020, it was April, it was the month after like the big shutdown. I called my mom and I was like, what am I doing? I have no money. Yeah, like I have no 401k right now. Like I have, I'm just making it, just getting by at this point, and the world just shut down. And she asked me, do you really want this? And I was like, I want nothing more than to see this succeed. She was like, then you'll figure it out. And I did. I don't know how I did sometimes, right? But I did. And I think that comes back to discipline, never giving up on myself.
Listen to the full interview with Lisa on YouTube at 100.9 The Mitt. Subscribe and hit the notification button to be alerted when new episodes drop. That's Success Suite with Sarah Stockford.
At Scott Family Dental, they don't just care for your teeth, they care for you. Dr. Brandon Scott, a Michigan State graduate and Midland native, specializes in preventative, cosmetic, and restorative care. But what truly sets him apart is his commitment to building personal connections with every patient.
I value my patients as unique individuals and strive to make the best care decisions for you. I will always be honest and open regarding your care. That is my promise to you and anyone I treat.
Scott Family Dental. Let's bring out your best smile together.
Since 2007, the Michigan Baseball Foundation has invested over $1.8 million into our communities, supporting over 350 projects across 14 Michigan counties. From restoring Alma Little League fields to creating nature-based classrooms at the Chippewa Nature Center and enhancing accessibility at the middle of the Mitt Miracle Field, MBF is making a real difference. Every ticket to a Great Lakes Loons game helps fund these initiatives. Join us in building a stronger, more vibrant community. Learn more at MichiganBaseballFoundation.org.
Calling all royalty. Join the Great Lakes Loons for Princess Night, presented by High Country Jumpers. Saturday, June 21st. The Loons will take the field in magical Moana-inspired jerseys. Stick around after the game for a dazzling fireworks loontacular, presented by Farm Bureau Insurance. It's a night fit for the whole family. Tickets are selling fast. Visit loons.com before they're gone. This is the Great Lakes Loons, everyone's hometown team.
I'm Ben Bosscher, and here's what I think. I think replay should be taken out of basketball entirely. I think 2 super conferences would fix college football. I think the best football, basketball, and baseball players of all time are currently playing. I think the day the Lions win the Super Bowl is going to be the greatest day of my life. I think Monty Williams sabotaged the Pistons on purpose, and you can't convince me otherwise. I think Jim Harbaugh is one of the best coaches of all time, but most definitely cheated, got caught, and ran away. And I think you should tune into the Ben Bosscher Show, fueled by Forward Energy, weekdays 9 to noon on 100.9 The Mitt if you agree with anything I just said.
We're in your town, your school, your huddle. 100.9 The Mitt is here for sports fans in the Great Lakes Bay region. From the hardwoods of Saginaw to Midland's Friday Night Lights. From the streets of Bay City to Freeland, Frankenmuth, and Hemlock. We roll through Beaverton, Auburn, Pinconning, Essexville, and Shepherd. All the way to Gladwin, Birch Run, Coleman, and Bridgeport. This is your sports station. High school, college, NFL, the Looms. It's all right here. 100.9 The Mitt, Mid-Michigan sports leader.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, welcome back into the Ben Bosscher Show right here on 100.9 The Mitt. We're live on YouTube. You can watch it there. We're live in the Great Lakes Bay region on 100.9 The Mitt FM. For anyone who's watching on YouTube, it's like, why does that guy keep making faces like he's constipated? It's not that. I'm so sunburnt, and anytime I move, it just hurts so bad. I'm sorry. I just had to make that clear.
It doesn't look that bad, like on your face, I will say.
That's because that's not where I'm burnt. My entire back is a tomato, though. And it's very problematic right now. But hey, you move on. You live and you learn. Sunscreen, buying stock. All right, so bottom of the 9th inning. 2 outs, bases loaded, full count. Game 7, World Series. The Tigers are going toe-to-toe with the Dodgers. Who would you want in the box? Because unlike the Yankees, unlike the Dodgers, there isn't that one superstar bat on this Tigers team. There's 3 of them. I don't know if any of them are considered superstars. Because to be a superstar to me in the league, you got to be more than just a recognizable figure. You got to be a household name. You got to be the Shohei Ohtanis, Judges of the world, the Mookie Betts of the world, Fernando Tatis, Juan Soto. I don't think the Tigers have any of those guys, as much as we all love.
Absolutely not.
Riley Green and Kerry Carpenter and Torkelson. And that goes beyond even what their numbers say. That's just in terms of stardom. The Tigers don't have any of those guys. So I started to wonder to myself, all right, if the Tigers got into one of these situations, who actually would be the person that you'd feel the most comfortable with in the box with the game on the line? Honestly, I mean, we can compare all their numbers and just do it based on that. And Torkelson actually comes out to the guy you'd want the most just based on OPS and home runs. But again, kind of swinging for the fences most of the time. Lowest average of those 3 guys. Kerry Carpenter has been clutch in the playoffs, so you know he has that in him. And kind of that perfect balance of the contact versus the power, which he obviously has. But again, versus the left-handed pitching, you get a little bit worried. Riley Green, on the other hand, actually doesn't have a whole lot of clutch hits in his career and didn't have a great postseason last year either. But for some reason, that's just the name I keep going back to as to the guy I trust the most. And I don't know if I have a true reason to say I'm right and everyone else is wrong in this circumstance. And if you were to kind of tear down this take, you'd instantly go to the 32% strikeout rate, which is bottom 2 percentile in the league. It's just happening too much, and I think we can openly say that. But tied for the highest WAR of all 3 of those players, 13 home runs, the 815 OPS. He hasn't had some of those moments that have been clutch, game-winning plays, but I feel like he's been there long enough. He's kind of been the face of the team, at least for the bats, and has embraced that well to the point where I think I'd be willing to put Riley Green in that situation, even though there's a great chance he strikes out, even though he hasn't been clutch really in his career. Not that he hasn't been clutch, but hasn't really come through the way you.
So you're just throwing him in there just cause.
Kinda.
It sounds like.
Kinda. But I also think at the end of the day, he's the best hitter the Tigers have. He's most consistent.
Probably the best all-around hitter, likely.
Who are you going with in this situation?
I do think like Gleyber Torres at least deserves some love here. Maybe not the pop that you have with the other three guys that you talked about, but as far as being a consistent bat against righties and lefties, getting on base, getting a base hit, hitting the gaps, like he deserves some love.
Really hard to punch out.
Right. I don't think I'm picking him though. The Riley Green thing is interesting because his ninth inning numbers this year are like incredible, but the issue is a lot of the ninth innings, Tigers have already been destroying the other team, and that's when he decides to go off. The actual clutchness hasn't really been there with him. Not just this year, but in general. I think it's the second guy you brought up, right? Kerry Carpenter. We're talking about one at-bat right now. Ninth inning, bottom of the ninth. Somebody needs to do something. We've seen it with Kerry Carp.
Mm-hmm.
Against Cleveland, the biggest spot that the Tigers have had in a playoff or in a game, in 10 years probably. And we got to see what he got to do in that spot against Class A as well, one of the better closers in all of MLB, especially last year at a sub-1 ERA. So I'm going with Kerry Carp. Obviously, they throw a lefty in there. Might change my answer a little bit, so that's why I see you maybe not taking him. But one at-bat, you need somebody, I'm going with Kerry Bonds.
It's fair, and I don't think there's a right or wrong answer to this question. That's kind of the beauty of the question is the Tigers have three guys that you can, I don't know about like rely on heavily, but three guys you feel comfortable in that situation. But I do feel like there's something about Riley being the face of the franchise that it would definitely feel the most poetic if he was able to be the one to come through.
That's a good point.
I definitely feel like he is the most beloved of those three, has the most ties to the city of those three. Not that the other two don't, but there's just been so many ups and downs with Torkelson. Kerry, like you said, against the left-handed pitching just kind of doesn't matter. And then Riley's the perfect balance of he's been here the whole time. There's never been a doubt of whether or not Riley Green is like this team's all-star, Again, hasn't showed up in like the clutchest of moments throughout the years, but there's something poetic about it to where anytime he's in the box, I'm just confident that he's going to make something happen, whether it's a single. I mean, I'll tell you what won't happen. He won't ground into a double play, right? He just doesn't put balls on the ground anymore.
Striking out could happen.
Yeah, this
likely could happen.
And, I think a lot of people struggle to. I felt like Tigers' Twitter was very divided this weekend because if you said anything negative about them whatsoever, you were just getting attacked because they do have the best record in baseball.
You got to recognize the offense has been slowing down, despite even winning 2 of 3 this weekend.
Right, and I think like me saying, hey, Riley Green, 32% strikeout rate is just not good enough. Like that's way too high.
He would agree with you.
Yeah, he would agree with me. I think me saying Javi Baez hitting below 200 ever since that 2-home-run game and the walk-off against Boston, what was it, a month ago at this point? Also a problem. Like there are some problems that exist, but it feels like if you bring them up in any sort of capacity, at least on X, which is just, I don't know, I go back and forth on whether or not I should even ever open that app, but it's crazy. Like people just start attacking you. It's like, hold on, like we can recognize this team's flaws despite them being the best team in baseball. And one of the biggest flaws on the team is Riley Green's strikeout percentage. He struck out 4 times on Saturday. That can't happen if we're going to call him the best player, which is what I'm doing right now. I do think he's the best offensive player on this team. Obviously, Tarek Skubal takes the cake for the best player on the team. But with everything that all these players have been through and the weaknesses that Torkelson and Kerry have, and Riley too with how much he's striking out, I think I still just trust Riley the most in these circumstances where, I don't know, Torkelson sometimes just has some ugly at-bats. Kerry doesn't really apply to the left-handed pitching. Riley, I don't think will ever have a bad at-bat. I mean, they exist, but
I mean,
he's going to fight.
Striking out is a bad at-bat. That's like definition of a bad at-bat.
Yeah, but if you work the count a little bit, it's not horrendous. Sure. It's not horrendous. Okay. The Tigers continue to soar to the top of the MLB standings, of course, and I think there's a chance that they can take this even a step further, right? I think there's a chance that the Tigers could do something pretty historic here at the deadline when you consider their farm system, but Kyle thinks I'm absolutely out of my mind and nuts for thinking that. I'll share that with you guys next, but before I do, I got to tell you about my friends at Maple Hill Nursery because it is officially the summer months, June. The days are long. It's been beautiful weather here in mid-Michigan. Midland's go-to spot for all your gardening needs is Maple Hill Nursery. From vibrant flowers to shrubs to trees and seasonal plants, they've got your garden covered. Expert advice from local growers who care about your success as much as you do. Quality plants, quality soil, and the tools you need to make your yard bloom. Stop by Maple Hill Nursery to get inspired and grow something beautiful this season. Find them right here in Midland, your garden's new best friend. All right, coming up next. Can the Tigers break everyone's brain at the trade deadline? Is it beating a dead horse? Maybe, but I feel passionate about it. So we're going to continue to do it. We've still got the Michigan sanctions to get into, so stay tuned. Hour number 3 on the way. It is the Ben Bosscher Show live on YouTube right here on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
It is the Scholar Athlete of the Month, proudly presented by Fisher Companies here on Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. This month's recipient is Kari Kiefer from Freeland High School. With a 3.97 GPA, Kari is a 3-sport athlete competing in cross-country, track, and basketball. Kari is a leader on the floor and talked on what she thinks makes an effective leader.
I think to be a great leader, you have to be able to hold each other accountable, like being able to give constructive criticism, but also a positive with it. Anytime I kind of talk with my teammates, I try to give them a positive if I'm going to give them a negative too, just to kind of balance it out and keep that relationship strong.
Kari scored over 1,500 points in her 4 seasons at Freeland. She'll continue her basketball and academic career at Northwood University. To hear the full interview and nominate a local athlete for our scholarship program, visit 1009themitt.com.
I'm Sarah Stockford, host of 100.9 The Mitt Success Suite, a podcast highlighting the most inspiring female leaders across the Great Lakes Bay region. This month, we spoke with Lisa Tarkington, Executive Director of LEAD, formerly known as Self Love Beauty.
The year 2020, it was April, it was the month after the big shutdown. I called my mom and I was like, what am I doing? I have no money. Yeah, I have no 401k right now. I have, I'm just making it, just getting by at this point, and the world just shut down. And she asked me, do you really want this? And I was like, I want nothing more than to see this succeed. She was like, then you'll figure it out. And I did. I don't know how I did sometimes, right? But I did. And I think that comes back to discipline, never giving up on myself.
Listen to the full interview with Lisa on YouTube at 100.9 The Mitt. Subscribe and hit the notification button to be alerted when new episodes drop. That's Success Suite with Sarah Stockford.
Hey, did you guys catch anything yet?
Not a thing.
Bummer, neither have we. I'm actually just about to head into town. I'm going to go into Higher Standards Automotive. They got this award-winning service department with amazing technicians and this large parts department in case I want to fix it myself. They got the part there.
Whatever.
No, I'm serious, man. It's out there.
Yeah, just like when you tried to convince me Bigfoot was real.
Ray?
Bigfoot's behind me, isn't he?
Yeah, we got him. Run! Get out! Stop into Higher Standards Automotive, North Eastman Road in Midland, right past the mall.
At First Class Epoxy Floor and Counter, floors don't just get coated, they get a makeover. Epoxy's so tough, it shrugs off spills, stains, and even your wildest dance moves. Garages, workshops, anywhere you want a floor that's smooth, shiny, and just a little bit sassy, they handle it all with style. No more boring floors. Get ready to impress everyone who walks through the door. Slide into durability and flair. First Class Epoxy Floor and Counter, where your floors get the VIP treatment they didn't know they needed.
From the Blazy Electric Studios, this is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt, WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland.
Hour number 3, the Ben Bosscher Show, right here on a Monday, live on 100.9 The Mitt and YouTube. Watch wherever you want. Throw us a like. Goes a long way. Just wrapping up that conversation we had to end the 2 o'clock hour. Game on the line. What Tigers hitter do you want in the box? We put out a poll on Twitter. 62% of the votes, Kerry Bonds. 17% Riley Green. 20% Torkelson. So my answer, Riley Green, actually finished dead last amongst the votes we got. Your answer, Kerry Bonds. You're in the majority, Kyle. I don't know if that's a congratulatory thing or not, but the people agree with you.
Tigers fans, no ball.
Kerry Bonds, John!
Mm-hmm. Kerry Bonds. Okay, let's move forward because this Tigers team's in first place right now in the American League, in the in Major League Baseball and obviously in the AL Central, I think that means they have to start selling some of their prospects and buying some major leaguers here at the deadline. And we've tossed around Paul Skenes a handful of times. You guys have told me it's unrealistic. I say, look at the Tigers farm system. They've got the pieces to make that happen between Max Clark and Job and McGonigal and Tyron Lorenzo and Jose Briseño. Like, they have the pieces to make it happen. It's just a matter of how crazy is that and how far are you willing to go with it. Let's start the conversation here then, because if I don't want to jump right into the Paul Skenes thing once again. But what are Tigers fans actually willing to give up here at the deadline? Because you have to get used to it. I know a lot of people are in love with some of these prospects like Clark, but if it means you're adding an awesome bat or an awesome arm at some point, like, you got to be okay with moving on from these guys. And I think I'm in the mindset of whatever your name is, whatever you're ranked in the farm system, whether it's the top 100 MLB guys or the top 30 for an individual team, I think any single person is on the table. And honestly, that includes Jackson Jobe too, who's not a prospect anymore, but it's not like I haven't liked what I've seen from him. But if you can upgrade that position, why would you not do it? I am in the boat that anyone and everyone is available to start shopping around. And if I'm Scott Harris, I'm already picking up the phone and calling every which team and saying, who wants Max Clark? Give us your best player. Who wants Kevin McGonigal and Max Clark? Okay, give us this player then. I think the Tigers have to capitalize on what's going on in the American League to where they're already the best team, and they could solidify that to an even further extent by adding someone like a Paul Skenes, adding someone, obviously there's no one available to the extent that like a Juan Soto is, but go break the market. Go do something historic here and be a visionary, be a revolutionary for this type of thing. You can't say it's impossible because impossible stuff happens all the time in sports. And I think the Tigers are in a very unique circumstance to where they have the best ranked farm system in Major League Baseball while also having the best record in baseball. They can go do something pretty historic here, add some pieces that no one would even consider, not no one would consider available, but no one would expect to be a Tiger at some point, and they could start to really break people's brains here with the trade deadline next month. I'm all in on making a massive move here at the trade deadline. I'm all in on making and selling the farm system because you grew your crops. They're sprouting. It looks like a lot of these are going to be a great hit in your farm, right? Promising growth. But if you can get some tall plants or whatever it is that you're farming right now to help the Tigers win a World Series right now, why on earth would you even hesitate to start selling some of these guys in the farm system? That's what I don't understand. And I guess I'm just trying to make sense of it. So
right.
I say everybody and anybody available. You don't want to sell everyone in the farm system? You'd rather selectively choose?
Right, but it's obviously, you have to recognize that, like, this team is going to make a trade. Not just one, because they're good, but two, the amount of guys they have in the minor leagues. Like, they have the depth. It's not just the top three guys. Like, they have an incredible farm system that they have built. So you have that much depth. You have to, assume that you can use some of those guys to make moves to help out the major league team. To me, as far as the guys that are available, I don't think any of the top three are going to be moved. And I don't really necessarily want any of the top three to be moved in Clark McGonigal and Bryce Rayner, who Rayner is injured now. I don't know how much that changes things for him. But after that, I think it's the guys that, because you have to start looking at what is the outline for these guys to be on the Tigers roster at some point. Like, what is their position in this team? A guy like Hao-Yu Lee, who's now been in AAA for nearly a year, been in AAA all this year and most of last season as well. Like, what does his outlook look like of making the Tigers roster eventually?
Well, there's an open spot at third base. As long as Veerling's still out.
Right. Potentially there for him. Tyron Lorenzo has been passed by Jose Briseño as the catcher/first baseman rankings-wise. So what does his outlook look like eventually? Because Dylan Dingler's been pretty phenomenal behind the plate. He seems to be probably the catcher of the future for the Tigers. And Torkelson's there at first with Colt Keith there for him if Torkelson, doesn't work out. So I think that's what you have to look at. Like, what actually is the outline for some of these guys to play on the Tigers at some point? If it isn't clear, then trade them and get guys you can help right now. Kevin McGonigal/Bryce Rayner have a very clear spot on this Tigers team eventually. Max Clark probably, I know Parker Meadows is your future center fielder, but you can always make room in the outfield for your top prospect in Max Clark.
Yeah.
But specifically McGonigal/Rayner, one of them is the future shortstop of the Tigers for a long time. So keeping one of them to me is very important.
Okay, so one of those guys is available for you.
And I would for sure love it to be
available for you.
McGonigal as well, to be the one that stays.
And there's some buzz that I think you even brought this up, that maybe McGonigal's a better prospect than Clark at the end of the day, which
I think he is right now. I think you could argue he's the best hitting prospect in all of minor leagues, assuming Roman Anthony leaves here pretty shortly.
Maybe. I don't know what's going on in Boston, but
yeah.
I don't know. So you want Briseño, McGonigal. Would you rather keep McGonigal or Clark, I guess, is my question.
I would rather keep McGonigal. That doesn't mean I want them to trade Max Clark, but one, it's just a very obvious spot that needs to be filled for the future. It's not Javi Baez. It's not Bosscher if you trade for him. Just if you do trade for a shortstop, that guy's not the future person there. And it's not Trey Sweeney. So why not make it your best prospect and hang on to him?
If they trade for Bosscher, I'm gonna be upset with that.
So
it's a rental.
But this is where I'm confused with you, though, because you're saying sell, sell, sell. Those are the guys that you buy at the deadline, the guys that are rentals. You don't just trade for guys that are under contract for the next several seasons. That doesn't really happen.
Yeah, but the Tigers, I still feel like, are in the unique circumstance where they can make it happen with how loaded their farm system is. Like, I'm not going to be... There's nothing the Tigers could do this trade deadline that I'd be like, that was too much. Nothing. I'd be shocked if I ever thought that. The same way
So if they traded Max Clark for Bosscher, you'd be like, yeah, that's cool.
Okay, well... No, I guess when you throw
just said
that at me...
there's nothing that could happen.
No, I guess when you throw that at me, you're right. But like, I'm just not going to be mad if they go try to really hit a home run with this. I don't want a single at the deadline. They've been sellers for far too long. I don't want to hit even a double. Go hit a grand slam. Go swing for the fences in the best players that are available here. And is it ridiculous that we're talking about the trade deadline a month plus out from the trade deadline?
I honestly don't think so.
I don't think it is either, because of the situation that the Tigers have found themselves in with the best record and the best farm system. Yeah. And I think, we did this like early last year, like May, talking about Skubal, whether or not that was something to monitor at the deadline. And I don't know if they ever actually shopped him. I don't think so. But like, they did become sellers at the deadline, right?
And it was a good topic. I was all in on sell Skubal.
Right. Obviously, they're not going to be selling anybody this year. But I'd like to go make a big purchase the same way that the Dodgers did with Jack Flaherty, and the Tigers obviously on the opposite end of that. I'm not going to be mad at them for trading a couple top prospects to bring in another arm, to bring in a bullpen arm, to bring in a right-handed bat. There's a few things.
What's the top 3 needs, according to Ben Bosscher, at the Tigers trade deadline that they need to fill? Or maybe if it's only 2.
Bullpen arm, right-handed bat who plays third base would be the 2 most ideal. And then the third is just a pipe dream of mine, Paul Skenes, which I think is semi-realistic considering the fact that the Tigers have the number 1 farm system in baseball and have a Jackson Joe and Max Clark.
The third need is Paul Skenes.
Yeah, the third need would be Paul Skenes. And I think the Tigers have the farm system to be able to make an offer to do it. I really do.
I've started to pivot. I do think that bullpen arm is needed, but once again, I think it's specifically a left-handed bullpen arm. They just don't have a guy they trust now in that spot. Brant Herter has bounced back in his last couple starts, but Holton has tremendously fallen off after being the primary left-handed guy out of the pen. I think right-handed bat, not at third. I think this team needs a shortstop, man. We're starting to see Javi Baez. We're starting to see Javi Baez come back down to earth.
Oh, that's my boy right there. That's Javier Baez.
Yeah, sub 200.
Javier Baez is
200
gone.
Game. Wow.
Javier Baez has disappeared. Javi Baez is back. And I'm scared that it's going to continue for a while. Trey Sweeney's cool and everything, but I would prefer to go get a guy that can play shortstop. That is where I've landed as the number 1 ad.
And what, Javi just doesn't play anymore? Making $25 million
third
a year?
And filling in the outfield and stuff. He wasn't going to play this year before that, like before he started doing good.
Yeah. I think he was going to play the whole time. It was just a matter of like how they were going to make room for him.
He wasn't going to play nearly as much as he has.
No, I mean, it was a credit to him for learning how to play center field so well, so quickly. But now that Parker Meadows is back, it's like there's no really need for him in the outfield, and AJ Hinch has made it pretty clear he's not going to play him in the corners. I guess he hasn't made
But
that clear, but
yeah.
he hasn't shown he's willing to do it.
We do also have to remember, like, if the Tigers do acquire a bat and they don't trade one of the guys currently on the roster, then what do they do? Is Sweeney get sent down
Sweeney.
probably?
Bye.
Because Matt Vierling is going to come back.
Yes.
He's not going to be out for the whole year like we originally maybe thought was going to happen. He will be back, and that takes Jahmai Jones' spot. And then you're at a weird situation where all the guys on the MLB roster are MLB players.
Yeah, but Trey Sweeney's like the clear upgrade spot. Because then the dream lineup, at least for what it is, the dream lineup is Riley Green left field, Parker Meadows center field.
Perez right field? Are you going Carp?
Wenzel Perez in right field. And then Torque first base, Glaber second base.
Blank at shortstop.
Yeah, someone you trade for at shortstop. Colt Keith maybe at third. And then Dingler behind the dish. And
then Carp is your DH.
Yes, that to me is the dream lineup.
Right
or Vierling at third
Vierling.
base. Yeah.
Or Vierling in right.
Yeah.
It gives you that option.
That to me is the dream lineup. Sorry, Wenzel. Kind of forgot about.
I would agree.
There for a
I think
second.
that is too. But that starts with you acquiring a shortstop.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. All right. The needs would then be bullpen arm, shortstop, Paul Skenes. Fair enough?
Fair enough.
989-837. I will not give up on that dream. I will not do it. 989-837-6125. We're live on YouTube, live on 100.9 The Mitt FM here in the Great Lakes Bay region. Finally, I've been teasing it for a long enough time, but let's get into the Michigan sanctions that got updated here over the past week when we come back. It is the Ben Bosscher Show right here on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
Last week, the Loons were out in South Bend, Indiana to take on the Cubs for a 6-game series. One of those games, they'd make Loons history. A combined no-hitter, a 7-inning contest, which Great Lakes would win 3-0. And they'd throw a no-hitter, Eric Swan, 6 innings. Roque Gutierrez, the final 3 outs. The second Loons no-hitter in franchise history. He comes still. Payoff pitch. Called a third strike on the outside edge. Great Lakes, a no-hitter. Eric Swan, 6 innings. Roque Gutierrez, the final 3 outs. And Great Lakes in celebration mode. First no-hitter as a club since 2021. And they do it on the road here in South Bend. Loons start a 12-game homestand Tuesday at 7:05.
Are you new to investing and not sure where to begin? Start by looking for a financial advisor who will offer you a strategy personalized for you and your family. One who will be there as your life and financial situation changes. I'm Kevin Spencer, your Midland Edward Jones financial advisor. When we work together, we'll focus on what's important to you. We use an established process to create personalized financial strategies backed by the advice, tools, and resources to help you reach your goals. And we'll partner to help your strategy stay on track.
Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Transform your outdoor space with Maple Hill Nursery. Whether you're a gardening enthusiast or just looking to relax in style, they have everything you need. From premium polywood furniture that never needs painting to top quality plants and trees, Maple Hill Nursery has it all. Plus, they offer free setup and delivery on in-stock barbecue grills. Visit them today just north of Midland Mall or check out their website for pro tips and expert advice. Maple Hill Nursery, making your yard the place to be.
Step right up to Lucky Hot Dog Night with the Great Lakes Loons, Thursday, June 19th. Feeling lucky? Golden tickets will be hidden in the wrappers of our hot dogs throughout the game. It's Thirsty Thursday, presented by J.P. O'Sullivan Distributing, with half-off beer all night. And we'll have a post-game fireworks loontacular presented by Farm Bureau Insurance. This isn't just baseball. This is the Great Lakes Loons, everyone's hometown team.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Michigan. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the MHSAA and the Michigan Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, welcome back in. All right, it's finally time. I've been putting it off because I don't want to do it at all. But the Michigan sanctions that happened last, what was it, the 7th, 2 days ago, last Friday, something like that?
Friday, and it went into Saturday as well.
Of course it did, because what on earth would take one day when it comes to the NCAA? Michigan had their meetings with the Committee of Infractions, right? And we're expected to hear a decision here in 8 to 12 weeks of what came out of that. But we don't really get any public updates until then. Here's my situation. Here's my stance on it. I'm so sick and tired of talking about this. It is 2 seasons ago at this point, right? We're creeping up on 2 years since any of this has went down. 3 seasons, really. And I am just now at the point where I don't care. I really don't. I honestly hope Michigan gets a worse suspension than what they put on Sharon Moore. I hope the NCAA says, you're really going to self-impose a 2-game suspension for games 3 and 4, hand select those. And I hope the NCAA recognizes that and says, here's 6 games. Here's a full season. A full season's definitely egregious, but I'm just so annoyed that this is still going on and we still have to talk about this. I guess we don't, because I choose what we talk about here on the show, but it feels relevant enough, but it's just making me sick that all these Michigan fans, the NCAA's out to get us. Well, don't cheat, and then they wouldn't be out to get you. But at the same time, you make a case that's, hey, the NCAA is slowly losing power. The Big Ten and SEC clearly have established that maybe they do have more power than the NCAA at this point. And I think the NCAA is trying to put their foot down and say, you know what? We still do have power, and we're going to make an example out of Michigan. And Michigan just happens to be the team that's getting beat up on by the NCAA to prove a point, and they're stuck in the middle of this. If you want to tell me that, that's fair. But don't sit here and whine, the NCAA is out to get Michigan. You cheated. Right? You cheated. And obviously, Sharon Moore's been suspended before for some of the recruiting violations, so he would be a repeat offender. So don't at all be shocked when the NCAA says, hey, Sharon Moore, you're not getting a 2-game suspension for weeks 3 and 4 against Central Michigan and Nebraska. It's not happening. I thought that was so ridiculous that they said something like that. I thought that was so egregious that they were like, you know what, we'll pick weeks, you know what, we'll do it against Central in-state rivalry. It's a tough game, NCAA. Take it easy on us. And we'll do it against Nebraska here. Our first Big Ten game. Give me a break with that. Either suspend him the first 2 games or don't do it at all. Don't hand select where you want to serve your suspension. That's not how this works, okay? So if I'm the NCAA, I'm looking at that like, yeah, no, not happening. You're a repeat offender. Someone has to fall on the sword here, even though it happened 2 seasons ago, which is ridiculous that this is even still going on. And it's also ridiculous that in 8 to 12 weeks, we actually find out what happened at these meetings, and then Michigan can appeal once again to drag this thing out even further. If I'm a Michigan fan, I just want it to be done. Accept whatever punishment it is and just move on. Because odds are they aren't going to take any wins away. They're not going to take your title away. At least I don't think so. But again, anything is on the table here. And just let this be over with, because it's lingering for way too long, and it feels like Michigan at some point is going to face the consequences of restricted scholarships, or I don't know, maybe they can get a slap on the wrist with this whole new era of NIL that passed over the weekend of House versus NCAA, to where now each college has $20 million to kind of give to their athletes. And pay them directly, which how that works. Trying to read up on that feels impossible. Title IX just not really a factor in this, from what I can piece together, right? We
need a cap expert of pro and now college leagues to just help us figure all this stuff out. Well, it's so confusing.
From everything I've read, it's like, yeah, the school can basically choose what they spend this $20 million on, and most of it's going to be on men's basketball and football. Like, wait, is that allowed? But apparently it is. So I don't know how this doesn't fit into Title IX stuff.
I would assume that it fits into Title IX stuff, because this was not an original Title IX thing, you know? Like this whole athletes being paid, because the money has to be dispersed across the athletic department as far as the funding for sports. But
This is a
seems
different
different
animal.
because this is different, yeah, and it wasn't in Title IX because players weren't being paid when it was created.
But
obviously,
this new ruling gives each school full permission to use the money however you want it and pay whatever athletes you want. And I just struggle to see like any school being like, you know what, we actually are going to pay all of our female athletes an equal amount. And like I don't know, you can get mad at me for saying that, but like
it's not even that though. It's like men's lacrosse. It's anything other than football and men's basketball.
Right.
It's in female or men's sports.
Which is, I don't know, concerning. I think the idea was, hey, we can level the playing field. But the part I don't understand even more is like any athlete from 2014 to 2021 or something like that can start is going to get paid an X amount of money if it's deemed like they qualify. It's like, wait, what? Before NIL even started, all these guys are going to come back and get the money that they missed out on. I guess
I'd love to hear Tom Izzo's take on all this.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
NLI, he still calls it.
I guess I'm just at the point where this is now semi-professional football. The amateurism has officially been removed with this bill being passed. So if that is the case, why is opinion still put into play here in college football? This is still an opinionated-based sport. We can put in these qualifications, and the Big Ten is demanding that, hey, we want 4 teams. The SEC wants 4 teams. They want a 16-team playoff. It's still opinion-based at the end of the day with these rankings. And if you're going to be a professional organization and you're paying your players, and these players are paid directly by the schools now, I don't want opinion in it whatsoever, because that's how it gets really political. And we've already seen that turn here in the past few years, whether it was the ACC and Florida State and them threatening to leave because they weren't getting the respect they deserved, even though they totally should not have been in that 14 playoff the last year of it. Whether it's Alabama pleading that they should have been in the playoffs, even though they kept losing horrendous games like to Oklahoma. The politicking in it is terrible. If we're going to start paying these athletes directly, you know what would make sense to me? Is a formulaic system to put people, or a standings-based system to give teams a shot to make the playoffs. It doesn't make sense to me that if this is the direction we're heading, we're going to continue our old ways of things and leave it up to opinions and committees to determine who gets to play in the postseason or not. Now, if this is the direction college football is heading, which it is, it's not going backwards. So why be stuck on old ways about going about things? Right? You need to move forward, not stay the same, not move backwards. And this is a forever changing sport to the point where I don't believe that there should be any opinions in play any longer. And I guess to circle back to the Michigan versus the NCAA thing that we started that conversation with is, if Michigan's going to get $20 million to spend wherever or whatever, maybe it gets restricted because of this. I just want this to be done if I'm Michigan, I guess is my overarching theme of this. I'm so sick and tired of hearing it and talking about this and getting constant updates as to what happened when in reality we don't have no updates because nothing from this meeting with Committee of Fractions is going to be made public for 8 to 10 weeks. I'm just over it.
The best part is that the 2-game suspension for Sharon Moore, it's all just, it's not going to happen 100% yet. They were just trying to get out in front of this Committee on Infractions thing. So that could still just get taken away after what the ruling is based off what the NCAA does with their report.
It probably will be.
I don't know. This isn't going to end for a while. Like you said, it probably is going to get worse for Michigan. Maybe this is the end of it, though, after the NCAA gives Sharon Moore the penalty in 8 to 10 weeks, which is just so stupid, like you said. But we'll see. I don't imagine this ending anytime soon because it probably would have by now.
Dwayne in the comments on YouTube says, guys like you keep calling Michigan and Michigan garbage cheaters. It's just weak. Ben, you went to CMU, so you're a natural hater. CMU will never see a college football playoff game in your lifetime. Yeah.
Genius.
You're making great points, which is why I want them to be competing for something completely different than a national championship. Give the group of 5 schools a different title to compete for, because I know my Central Michigan Chippewas will never be able to go toe-to-toe with a Michigan or Alabama. So why are they competing for the same thing? Why are they competing for the same title? That's right. Michigan doesn't have their coach for that game, at least for now. Hey, trust me, I know. I'd rather see CMU have an actual achievable goal to reach as a national championship, not like beating SEC schools, because I'm well aware that's never going to happen. I don't know how that makes me a natural hater that I went to CMU, but I'll take it. Whatever. Fire up. All right, 989-837-6125. We'll hit the news next here on the Ben Bosscher Show, 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
Hey Midland, join the Silver Sneakers and Renew Active programs at the Midland Community Center, where fitness for seniors is fun and free. With Silver Sneakers and Renew Active, seniors 65 and older enjoy access to Greater Midland Community Center, North Family Center, and Coleman Family Center, all at no extra cost with eligible Medicare Advantage plans. Dive into all group fitness classes, exclusive Silver Sneakers classes, and our Greater Midland Walking Club. Get moving with Silver Sneakers and Renew Active at the Midland Community Center.
You have better things to do than to job hunt or scramble to find your next great hire. So let Spherion do it. We say local is our superpower because we live and work where you live and work. We know the local job market. We're here in person. And we're locally owned, so you won't find a partner who's more engaged and literally invested in your success. If you're ready for something better, start with Spherion. Visit us online at Spherion.com to find your local Spherion office. Let's get to work.
Calling all royalty. Join the Great Lakes Loons for Princess Night, presented by High Country Jumpers. Saturday, June 21st. The Loons will take the field in magical Moana-inspired jerseys. Stick around after the game for a dazzling fireworks loontacular, presented by Farm Bureau Insurance. It's a night fit for the whole family. Tickets are selling fast. Visit loons.com before they're gone. This is the Great Lakes Loons, everyone's hometown team. From the hometown heroes to the college legends to the pros on Sunday, 100.9 The Mitt is your home for wall-to-wall play-by-play coverage. High school football, basketball, and hockey.
Region champions for the first time in school history.
Michigan State football and basketball.
Touchdown, MSU!
The NFL, Thursday, Sunday, and Monday night primetime games. And don't think we forgot about your hometown team. The Great Lakes Loons.
That ball's over and out of here.
100.9 The Mitt. From Midland to Bay City, Saginaw to Sanford. From Frankenmuth, Greenland, and Hemlock to Auburn, Essexville, and Pinconning. 100.9 The Mitt is the heartbeat of the Great Lakes Bay region and proud of it. We're your home for local sports, local stories, and local pride. Whether you're in Birch Run, Beaverton, Gladwin, Chesapeake, or Coleman. Football, basketball, hockey, Spartans, NFL, Loons, all right here. 100.9 The Mitt, Mid-Michigan's sports leader.
Bel Air Brown, Dragon's Milk, Mad Hatter, Purple Gang, and Huma Loopalicious. These are names that let the imagination run wild and let the taste buds take a stroll. Welcome to the craft beer craze in Michigan. Bolstered by the Great Lakes and nurtured by the glacier-rich soil, here awaits a brewer's paradise. With fresh hops growing tall in the old Mission Peninsula and fresh barley fields sweeping the mitten, Michigan ranks 5th in the nation in the number of breweries, microbreweries, and brew pubs. From Good Harbor Golden to Whitefish Bay Wheat, from Motown Lager all the way to Park Bench Porter, Michigan is serving up a frosty glass of perfection. Whether you want to take in a game with a two-hearted ale or just sit on a front porch sipping a Steelhead Red, let's tap into life at its fullest and treat ourselves to a taste that's pure Michigan. Your trip begins at Michigan.org.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, let's hit the news here in the 3 o'clock hour.
The Mitt's Morning Catch.
I said 3 o'clock hour. I meant hour number 3. It's the 11 o'clock hour.
But you will be back for the 3 o'clock hour.
That's
later
right.
Today, correct.
Correct.
Busy day for Ben Bosscher. All right,
It's
let's
time
hop
to
into
get huge.
Let's hop into the news. Oh, we just got some news. Oh, look at that. Tigers are still number 1 in the newest MLB power ranking. That's back-to-back weeks at number 1. Ben, how many American League teams do you think are in the top 10 in this power ranking?
Ooh, 2?
3.
Who's the third?
The Astros snuck in at number 8. Yankees are 4. And then there's 7 National League teams. Pretty hilarious.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah,
the National League's, it's a dogfight down there, man. It's like the East versus the West in the NBA this year. There's just a clearly better league.
Absolutely. Okay, let's talk about some stuff we didn't quite get to in the first news segment. We had some big tennis going on this weekend, the French Open. Carlos Alcaraz and Coco Gauff, winners of the French Open this weekend in tennis. Ben, did you get a chance to tune in?
Nope. I did not.
Got it.
I'm glad you threw that in there, though. I like Coco Gauff. Cool name. Top 5 name in sports, probably. Active athletes. Played here at the Dow Invitational not too long ago.
Pretty cool. Shout out to her winning the French Open. And then some other non-big sports news. We mentioned it a little bit earlier, but Merab Dvalishvili dominated Sugar Sean O'Malley in the bantamweight title fight Saturday night to remain the champ.
The UFC was begging for Sean O'Malley to come through, man. They don't have a face of their company right now, and it's hurting their summer. This is supposed to be like their season in the summer, their Saturday nights, and it feels like they don't have a ton of marketable stars right now that are champions, and it feels like this has not been a great year for the UFC so far, and with Sean O'Malley losing last night, it's gotten even worse. So I'm a big UFC guy, but like casual, I guess, but not a good place right now.
Yeah, I think they're also looking for an American star as well, and obviously Sean O'Malley would be in a spot to be that person, but currently
I don't even know if that matters as much, though. Like, it's not like McGregor was American. It's not like Adesanya was American.
But I think they're looking for one, though, right?
I don't think it matters. I think they just want a guy. It's a worldwide sport. Pereira was their guy. Adesanya was their guy.
I still think Pereira can be the guy, though.
He needs to come back and get his title back, man.
Well, yeah, of course. Okay, let's move to some NFL news. Jair Alexander to be released by the Packers today. They couldn't quite find a trade. Spent 7 seasons in Green Bay, 2-time Pro Bowler, and has had a lot of good battles against the Lions in his years, but maybe be coming to an end if he goes elsewhere.
Has he had a lot of great battles with the Lions?
I mean, just he's a chippy guy, you know? Like, he's a good competitor to play against. I respect him for that.
He's also an idiot.
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah, I mean, hey, Lions fans should be happy. He's usually unavailable for those games anyway, but at the end of the day, that is a lights-out corner, one of the best in the league. And for the Packers to lose a player like that, it definitely makes them worse. I mean, they're probably selling it as addition by subtraction in terms of, like, having that person in the locker room, but yeah, whatever. It hurts their team nonetheless.
Yeah. Moving on to some Tiger stuff. Obvious here, but Jack Flaherty, good outing yesterday. 9 Ks, 6 scoreless innings. Over 121,000 total fans across the weekend between Tigers and Cubs this weekend as they remain the best team in baseball. What a great showing it was from the Detroit fan base this weekend. And a lot of Cubs fans were there as well.
I think I saw it was the most people in Comerica Park for a series since 2013. For that to happen in a June series, the 2013 one was for them to clinch the playoffs against the Sox. So for this to happen in June, oh my gosh, man. I can't wait to see what this looks like. I mean, maybe they end up clinching really early, but I don't know. For win number 100, like, that could be be pretty spectacular in Comerica.
I honestly think just going forward, all of these weekend series are going to be like this. Like, maybe not this specifically, because this was number 1 versus number 2 teams. Chicago's close, so a lot of Cubs fans were there as well. But I just think going forward, we can expect nearly sold-out crowds on the weekends for the Tigers.
When I was watching the game on Friday, I was watching it with Los, and I looked at it and I was like, why are we not at this game, dude? Like
I think you texted me that.
Yeah,
like,
the second the game started, I was like, why on earth did I not go to this game? There's no reason we shouldn't have gone. Every reason
because it was sold out, that's why.
We could have pulled some strings, made it happen. I don't know. I was sad.
Yeah, missed opportunity there for sure. Still got to go to a game this year. All right, tonight, Stanley Cup Finals, Game 3. Oilers-Panthers in Florida for Game 3 at 8 p.m. I don't even know who you picked for this series, Ben. Did you throw it out? I know you're rooting for the Oilers, but...
I picked the Oilers. I mean, it was a toss-up. Okay. It was a coin flip series based on the odds. But
that's how it is right now. Both teams are at minus odds to win the series.
I hate when that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always going to be rooting for, like, the McDavids of the world to try to get those rings and maximize, you know, what their resume looks like at the end. And obviously the Panthers won last year, and I liked reading all the stories that were basically saying the Oilers are approaching this much differently. It's not like we're just happy to be here. They coming in with a fresh mindset. And, you know, I picked the Oilers not feeling, like, super confident about it. Not that I watched a ton of Oilers or Panthers games throughout the season, but I'll probably always pick what team is the better player for the most part in most of my picks across most sports, you know?
Yeah. I think I'm rooting for them as well, even though I talked about the whole Canadian curse thing last time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm probably rooting for them as well. And then last up, flipping it over, NBA Finals. Thunder Pacers tied up at 1 apiece after the Thunder big win last night. This has been kind of a topic going around, but like the Stanley Cup Finals are just better than the NBA Finals this year, right?
Why?
Because Game 1 and Game 2 went to OT and double OT, and it's a rematch from last year. Like the storyline is there.
Yeah, the overtime thing I don't think is a leg to stand on.
I mean, it was two really close games.
Yeah, but it's
obviously Game 1 of the NBA Finals was really good too.
Yeah, but it's way easier to go into overtime and play close games in hockey than it is basketball.
For sure. Yeah, you're right.
I guess like from the repeat standpoint, like, hey, another crack at it. Like maybe the NHL Stanley Cup has been better, but I don't know. Game 1 was incredible from an NBA standpoint, and last night you saw
it was
one of the best teams of the last decade, kind of flexing their muscles a little bit. And Shea had one of the best performances I've seen in a long time in the playoffs.
He did, yes. He just doesn't have bad games. It's crazy.
No, I just think there's this weird group of people out there that don't watch basketball that love to hate on basketball. And I don't think you'd ever see like NBA fans starting a narrative that's like, yeah, the Stanley Cup is way better. It's just like all these hockey people that hate the NBA talk about it so loudly. Or like, so, it's way better over here. Stanley Cup's way better. It's like, oh.
True. I do think though that the storyline like is cool in the NHL. Like the fact that it is the rematch and McDavid going for the first ring, like that is a pretty big deal, I will say.
Yeah, because McDavid's one of the best hockey players of all time, and I don't think in the NBA Finals you have anyone that's, knocking on the door. What Shea's done has been pretty incredible.
But Shea could be starting it.
Yeah,
I mean, he's still so young. This could be the start of a all-time career,
for sure. And but I think it's just hard for people to view that, that far out of stuff. But even though McDavid's already kind of been put into that tier, I don't know if in hockey people count the rings as much as they do in the NBA. Because for you to even be like considered
NBA
all-time
is all
stuff,
ring culture.
Yeah,
same with NFL.
Like you have to have rings and MVPs, and Shea only has one of those and is about to have his first ring. And it's like he probably has to have two before even people start talking about him. Two of one of those things for people to even start talking about him on the all-time stuff, even though what he's done this season stacks up against any guard season from the last 25 years. Like, hey, you want to have a real awkward conversation? Let's start comparing 2025 Shea to you pick Kobe year. Oh, no, we don't want to do that though.
Yeah,
that would ruffle some feathers.
That just
if we
got
decide
a bunch
to
of
do
people
that.
mad.
I'm just being honest. You got anything else for the news standpoint?
No, that's it.
All right. We will close the show the same way we always close the show, right here on 100.9 The Mitt when we come back. But before we do that, let me tell you about the thing you didn't even know you needed until right now, and that would be Linked Technologies. Stay secure, stay connected, and stay ahead with Linked Technologies, your local IT experts in Midland. From small businesses to large operations, they provide custom tech solutions that actually make your life easier. Specializing in networking, cybersecurity, cloud services, and managed IT support, all under one roof. Fast, reliable. Service with people who speak your language. Whether you're upgrading, protecting, or troubleshooting, Linked Technologies keeps your system running smooth. Visit linktechsolutions.com and see how they can help your business work smarter, not harder. All right, we will give you our locks of the day. We will guess Colin's open. Hopefully he's actually doing a show today. When we come back and close out the show. This has gone by really fast today, Kyle.
Yes, it has.
I feel like we just started the 9 o'clock hour like 2 segments ago.
I know. 3 more hours for you, though.
Three more hours. Woo! All right. I don't like that I just did that at all. I really don't like that I just did that. All right. Let's take a quick time out. We'll come back, close things out. Ben Bosscher Show, 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
It's time to remember that. with Kyle Sandell.
Presented by Matt Larson, Farm Bureau agent located downtown Midland. MLB All-Star voting got underway yesterday, and the Tigers are in a spot where they're going to have several All-Stars this season. There's some obvious ones. Tarek Skubal will for sure be an All-Star once again. Riley Green will likely make back-to-back All-Star appearances. But then there's a few other guys that you would think might have a chance to be starters or get voted in as reserves. Names like Will Vest come to mind. Gleyber Torres has a pretty good shot at second base. But the guy that I'm vouching for to be the starter at his position in the American League in the All-Star game is none other than Spencer Torkelson. Now, you look at the initial numbers and you think, no way Spencer Torkelson makes it over the Vlad Guerreros or Paul Goldschmidts in the American League. Just a .230 batting average right now for Torque. But he leads all the American League first basemen in home runs with 14, and he's hit at the heart of an order of a Tigers team that has been the best in Major League Baseball this season. Third best OPS in the American League right now, better than Vlad Guerrero. And being the prime right-handed bat on the best team in Major League Baseball, leading that team in homers with 14, while bouncing back from the type of criticism and season he had a year ago. I know all that storyline stuff doesn't go into it, but Spencer Torkelson has a really good chance to make his first All-Star game this season, and I believe he should be the starter in the American League at first base. Remember that. Presented by Matt Larson, Farm Bureau agent, located downtown Midland.
When the summer heat is on, keep your cool with Answer Heating and Cooling. Our expert team specializes in fast, reliable air conditioning repairs, installations, and maintenance. Stay comfortable all season long with top-notch cooling solutions and simply outstanding service. Plus, with financing options and special rebates, cooling your home has never been more affordable. Answer Heating and Cooling, where comfort is our priority. Try our new schedule online option or call us today.
Now, wait a second, Sharon. So the Midland Area Community Foundation runs the Midland Area Santa House?
You bet we do.
And Midland Area River Days?
Absolutely.
Plus scholarships for students and grants for local nonprofits? That's like hitting the cycle and impacting our community.
Anyone can step up to the plate and help build community capital for as little as $5.
$5? That's the cost of a snack at the ballpark. How do I get in the game?
Just visit midlandfoundation.org and make a gift to our community investment fund. Every dollar makes a difference.
Join the team. Give today at midlandfoundation.org.
The new rebranded Matt Smith Modern Realty.
Well, Matt Smith Outdoors was really reflective of how I started my real estate journey, taking my outdoor experience, moving that into the real estate space to help people buy and sell land. So many people in this region ended up calling me and wanting me to work with them to help them buy and sell homes. This new brand was more reflective of what I'm delivering to people in this region every day.
I'm Ben Bosscher, and here's what I think. I think replay should be taken out of basketball entirely. I think 2 super conferences would fix college football. I think the best football, basketball, and baseball players of all time are currently playing. I think the day the Lions win the Super Bowl is going to be the greatest day of my life. I think Monty Williams sabotaged the Pistons on purpose, and you can't convince me otherwise. I think Jim Harbaugh is one of the best coaches of all time, but most definitely cheated, got caught, and ran away. And I think you should tune into the Ben Bosscher Show, fueled by Forward Energy, weekdays 9 to noon on 100.9 The Mitt if you agree with anything I just said.
Local sports don't stop when the game ends, and neither do we. 100.9 The Mitt is your digital home for the latest news across the state of Michigan. From high school to college and the pros, it's all on our socials. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Just search 100.9 The Mitt and join the squad. Stay locked in on the latest stats and stories with exclusive video takes from local talent. Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt.
Hey, I'm Ben Bosscher.
And I'm Kyle Sandell.
And the two of us are live every weekday on 100.9 The Mitt at 9 a.m. until noon, giving you opinions on the teams that you care about the most.
The Lions, Tigers, Red Wings, Pistons, those teams.
And a whole lot more. Whether we're breaking down a game from the night before, debating the biggest news from the day, or doing a draft or spread picks, we're always having fun. I mean, come on, it's our job to talk about sports. How could we not be having fun?
So if the big games aren't enough for you, if you're a real diehard fan, this show is going to be perfect for you. You can count on us to be your morning sports outlet every day.
The Ben Bosscher Show with Ben Bosscher and Kyle Sandell on 100.9 The Mitt.
I'm a pretty great multitasker. I can wash dishes and do laundry. I can roller skate while walking my dog. I can even order lunch while doing my homework. But I can't use my phone while driving. A distracted driver is one of the leading causes of death in the United States. So when it comes to driving, please, don't be a multitasker.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
There you go. Got to turn my mic on. Welcome back into the Ben Bosscher Show. We close every show the same. Let's get into our lock of the day.
Lock of the day.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
I'm going back to the well, Kyle. We had a good week last week. We ended up going positive like half a unit, right?
Yeah, you're up 0.52 units.
Okay. But 2 of the misses were on Connor McDavid anytime goals.
Yes.
And I was adamant that the more this continued to lose, the more we would continue doing it because he's going to score at some point in the Stanley Cup Finals. Now, with that being said, Leon Draisaitl played in all 7 games last year, and somehow he did not find the back of the net. But I don't think that's likely to happen again with McDavid. So I think as long as the Stanley Cup is still going on and he hasn't scored, we're going to continue to hit this with the idea it's going to hit eventually, and then once it does, we don't have to touch it again. So I will be going McDavid anytime goal. You actually get better odds on it than we have had the last 2 days. The last 2 times we've done this, it's been plus 145. Now it is plus 150 that I'm feeling pretty good about today. He's got to score eventually, right?
Yeah, I really thought game 2 he was going to. I actually even live bet McDavid to score in like the 3rd period of that game in game 2. Just felt like he was going to be the hero. And it just hasn't happened yet. I think today, I'll ride with you on this one. I think this is the day it hits. It has to.
I feel like we're in deep enough now to where if he doesn't score again today, like you can already lock in what our lock of the day is going to be. What's our next game? Thursday, probably? So
probably, yeah.
Yeah, like I feel like we're just in it to the point where we're going to continue making this our lock of the day until it hits, and eventually it's going to hit. Because the last thing we would want is for us to figure out a new lock of the day, like go away from it, and then, of course, that would be the day he scores. Yeah, so
right, exactly.
I still feel good about this, even though it hasn't hit the first 2 times.
Because we're obviously going to keep this on a week-to-week basis now that we are through week 1. You are up the half a unit, but your all-time record is 2-3 on picks, right or wrong. So you want to keep that above 500 as well. But you are 1-0 on being up for the week.
Yeah. Cold end to last week with 3 straight losses. The Monday win really helped us because it was Tigers' first
plus
half.
240.
First inning money line. Yeah, that saved us for the week. But I'm feeling good about McDavid today. Hopefully we can get off to another good start. It's plus 150 odds, which means it can set us up for some future success down the road here this week. So that is going to be our lock of the day.
Lock of the day.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
And the other tradition we have here to end the show is to predict Colin Cowherd's Open. Should we just be predicting at this point whether or not he's going to be doing his own show? Would that be a better segment?
That would be a better segment because I have no idea today.
The crazy thing,
he's got to be.
He's got to be there. The fact that he took a week off before, like in the first week of the NBA Finals, that's how you know he's made it and is a legend. He's just like, yeah, I don't really care that the NBA Finals are going on. I'm going to go take a whole week off. Nuts.
It's pretty crazy.
Nuts to me.
Like that, or is that more to show how this NBA Finals is not that big of a deal?
You're saying if it was like Lakers, Celtics, there's no way he would have taken last week off?
I promise you he would not have taken the week off if that was the case.
You're probably right about that. We both have 1 point all time. We both picked up one up
on
week.
Friday.
I think that should be the standard. Both of us should be trying to get 1 point every week. It's just a matter of who can,
It's hard this time of year to do that. I think come fall, it'll be a lot easier.
Once football's on?
Right. But I don't know. I guess maybe it is easier in the summer because as soon as one thing happens, it's like that's obviously the Open because there's nothing going on.
And it's even harder this week because he's been off for a week, so he's got takes that have been saved up over the past week.
Yes. That's where I'm going to go with.
Do you get to pick first today?
I'm first today, yes.
Okay.
According to me just saying that. He could stack up the NBA Finals takes, for sure, especially with the game last night. But what's the take from last night? Oh, Thunder won big? Oh, the Pacers have no chance? I don't know what the actual pivot is there. So I think he is boiling up where I'm going with I did Friday. Aaron Rodgers, Steelers.
That's what I was going to do.
He's for sure opening with that. Talking about the Steelers. And then he'll get to finals at some point. Just because there isn't something to go to with the finals game from last night. Nothing crazy happened. Aaron Rodgers being with the Steelers, that's got Cowherd all over it.
I was going to also say this, and I think he's going to align with what I said earlier, to where he's going to say they're not even going to make the playoffs, and they should have drafted Shedeur. But I don't want to step on your shoes here.
I mean, I didn't go that way. I just think he's going to talk about it. I just think he's going to bring it up.
I agree with you. That's the thing. I guess I'll think of something else then, because I was also going to go the Aaron Rodgers route. Because I don't know if he likes talking about any other athlete more than he likes talking about Aaron Rodgers.
Of course.
And it's the Steelers. It's just easy. Okay, then you're backing me into a corner here. I'll go with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander better than Kobe then. Just comparing him to all-time stuff.
I'll say, does it have to be Kobe or just a legacy Shai thing?
A legacy Shai thing, because I do kind of think when you go prime for prime, I mean, Kobe's probably the pick here. But
5 rings, man. Shai didn't have any yet.
I think it's a little closer than people want to admit.
Not yet. I mean, where you got to be.
Well, I'm not talking about careers and accolades and accomplishments and all-time. Yeah, I'm just talking peak Shai, what I've been watching for the last 12 months.
That's
stacked
fair.
up against really any 99% of guards ever. He probably comes out on top.
Outside of Michael Jordan, of course.
Outside of Michael Jordan, and then Kobe, and then Dwayne Wade, I guess would be an argument, peak Dwayne Wade.
Peak Harden, bruh. Don't sleep on peak Harden. Right.
Stay sleeping. I guess Curry's in there, but the completely different play styles. I don't even know if that's
Curry's in there though, still obviously.
Yeah, especially for guards. But yeah, I'll go with some Shai legacy talk here for Colin's Open, and you're going
Hopefully
with Aaron
he's there
Rodgers
today.
There's no way he'd take a second consecutive week off in the middle of the NBA.
If he's
and
not
NHL
there, then
finals.
mine doesn't hit, because J-Mac has already talked about Aaron Rodgers 3 times.
Hey, we've talked about Paul Skenes 3 times, and it just
You've
continues.
talked about Paul
It just
Skenes.
continues to come up. I don't know how. You text me the day before, and you're like, "We're doing Paul Skenes again, right?" If you want to, Kyle, feels like we're being a dead horse here.
I
but
think
if
the
you
next
insist,
time you put Paul Skenes trade in the rundown, I'm going to personally delete it and put something else in there, and hope you just don't realize. Be like, oh, I forgot I changed
Coming up
that.
next, we're talking about the U.S. Open this weekend. I don't remember writing this down.
Yeah, there we go. I'm in for that.
I saw something just on Twitter during the last break that DeChambeau and Scheffler are playing together in the opening round, or on Thursday.
Oh, really? I guess I didn't know that.
That's pretty cool. I'll probably actually will tune into that. Sounds better.
Nothing better than watching golf during the day in the week. It's the world's best thing.
I'd rather watch golf during the week than Michigan Panthers championship. I'll tell you that.
Ooh, not a hot take. Yeah, I agree.
I don't think it's a hot take at all. I'm just kind of throwing that out there to circulate back to what we said earlier today, where it's and we didn't really get good feedback on that. There wasn't a ton of people. I mean, we
Shout
had
out to Aaron in the YouTube chat. He's a big Panthers guy. He was throwing it out there.
Yeah, but other than that, we didn't have a ton of interaction with it, which makes me think okay, we just don't have to bring that up again, and I'm totally okay with that, because I've never once cared about this Michigan Panthers team,
I will say,
unfortunately. And maybe I'll catch a few minutes of the game on Saturday. Oh, cool, they won the championship, but whatever.
Right.
I don't know. I don't really
The big thing for me, and you did bring it up, is that there's just no one at these games in humongous stadiums. That, I think, is the part that really is the big turnoff, that shows people don't really care about it that much.
The problem is there's no stadiums for them to play in that can hold a 100-yard football field that are
Right.
smaller. So you're
high school,
I guess.
But then that's just
playing at Cass Tech.
That's a slap in the face to those guys, you know.
I guess. I mean, they could probably sell that out. Even a Spartan Stadium would be, Spartan Stadium's kind of big. I guess that was
pretty
a bad
big.
example. Yeah.
The college stadiums are bigger than the NFL ones.
Yeah, which is crazy. But hey, shout out to the college alums that always come through and pack up the stadiums. Okay, with that being said, appreciate everyone for tuning in. Again, this is just the very early stages of what this show is going to become, so appreciate everyone tuning in now, because what this is going to look like in a few months, I am very, very, very excited. And you should be too. So with that being said, we'll be back tomorrow. I don't exactly know what we're going to be talking about tomorrow, but I'll be back in a few hours here, filling in for the huge show from 3 to 6 on 100.9 The Mitt and everywhere across the state of Michigan. Big day for your boy. Going to need another Celsius at some point. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. We will be back tomorrow. That was 100.9 The Mitt's Ben Bosscher Show. I need to come up with some sort of slogan. We'll work on that. All right, guys. See you later.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on